Hey, Miami sports fans. Stop by Caneswear today at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you are out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
Traffic, but I love you.
Ahora de Cuba la Bella, del Palacio de los Jugos,
los chicharrones.
Los vecinos aquí se enteran de todo.
Mi vecina era CDR en Cuba.
Y en verdad no hay nothing that you can do. Chacleteras sin llames con corbata.
Aquí yo vendo hot dog, pero en Cuba yo era médico.
Le saco el dedo y digo Q.
Sweet home Hialeah. Solo 30 minutos de Le Bayo.
Oh,
sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you.
Oh, hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of East 10th Street Boys, live on the Finstock Sports Network. I'm your host, Bobby Finstock. That's Alex. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's Courtney. What the hell? Hey, Courtney, how you doing, girl?
Good. The only reason you knew it was me is because I didn't have as nice of a beard. But
that's right. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. But Alex will join us later. He is coaching a basketball game. I think he's on the bus heading back, and then he'll head home, and he'll pop in, hopefully, by 10:30. It's a late night special, late night edition of East 10th Street Boys. And Courtney was so kind enough and gracious enough to join me to talk everything sports and just life and just have fun. So much to talk about. And so much news. I mean, you would think, it's the off season, the Dolphins lost in the wild card. We'll have some time off. We'll have nothing to talk about. Nope. Fangio leaves. Supposedly the players didn't like him, or the players just weren't 100% committed, depending on who you're listening to. Miami had 7 candidates. Now it's back down to 6. We're going to touch on all that. And of course, the NFL draft. But before we get into that, Courtney, how's your week so far? How's that been?
Good. It's been crazy, but overall, well. Me and Thirsty did Doll's Diaries yesterday. And we also touched on the Fangio leaving, so can't complain.
Yes, and Rob and Steve, I know, and they had Michael Vogel, who is a part of On the Clock, our draft show here on the channel. They had him on, and they were talking a defensive coordinator opening in the defense in general today, and it was Steve who brought to my attention the Vic Fangio side of things in regards of his departure, and really, was, the players, they didn't like him. He couldn't connect with them, et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, no, it's not that. It was that these players weren't 100% committed. Now, he didn't name players. We don't, but you got to generalize things. People are going to say, oh, see, our defense was never committed, and our coach was just not connecting, blah, blah, blah. But maybe was he talking about Cam Smith? What did you get? First off, did you hear the audio of what Ron Jaworski said? And what is your thoughts on that in general?
I did hear that. And I think that that's a whole lot of saving face. I don't trust that for a minute, believe it was Omar who even came out and said that there was a lot behind the scenes going on. That I think it was finally Omar that came out and said that Vic, his sources are that Vic hated Cam Smith, and that one of those partiers was none other than Eli Apple. So if that was true, if all this is true, which I believe it to be true, because hashtag free Cam Smith, we know where I stand on this. Eli Apple was out partying, as Vic is, Vic's people are trying to say, oh no, they were partying, not committed. Well, your main man was the main one out there doing it. Cam Smith's name was never been released in like the partiers, whatever. It was a personal vendetta.
It's crazy.
I believe it too, because it made no sense all season. All season, how is he still out there? Nothing except the personal vendetta made sense.
And what's crazy is, and obviously that's a disconnect between the front office, head coach, and their D coordinator. That you draft defense, his unit, you go Cam Smith, and he did not want Cam Smith, obviously. Or did not think highly of Cam. Maybe he was like, okay, yeah, we could use him. And then watching him in practice, he might have said, no, this kid is not what I need. When there's an investment there and you need to see what you got at him. Exactly. So that's why anything that happens with the next coach, they're going to play Cam Smith, because Howard more than likely is gone. So Cam Smith is going to get a role here. And hopefully the head coach, or the D coordinator, whomever that may be, and we have our preferences, is going to get the best out of him. JB in the house. If Cam was that good and ready, why did McD not tell Fangio to play him? He's the boss. My thought on that is that McDaniel said, hey, you run the defense. I focus on this offense. I'm going to trust you because, first off, how many years have you been in the league? 30, whatever years. I'm going to trust you to do your job. And whoever you think is ready to play, they're going to play. I'm going to run the offense. And, of course, he has to run things through McDaniel, but McDaniel's going to trust him. This guy was a former head coach. This guy was a 30-year vet. Not that it was right, not if it was the right thing to do, and maybe Cam Smith was not ready. Maybe Cam Smith wasn't that good. Who knows? But we don't know because we haven't seen him on the field. We know Eli Apple. We know what he can do, and we know what he cannot do, but we don't know what Cam Smith can do. And when you were down, when Xavier Howard went down, and Nick Needham was out most of the year and whatnot, there was no excuse why Cam Smith should not have been on the field, no matter what they did. Where's the other East 10th Street boy? Late. So
are you saying that I'm not filling the role good, Tati? Are you saying that, is something missing?
She has an attitude issue. I don't know what's her problem.
I thought we had girl power.
What happened? It was but thought we were cool, but whatever. No, Alex is. I didn't tell her that Alex is coming back from a game, so he's going to be late, but he will be here. Maybe we'll see, but it doesn't matter. We're having fun. No, you are perfect. Well, let's slow down.
First of all, Bobby, this is between me and her, not you.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Let me back off. I'll log out. But so that's why I understand that argument from JB about if he was that good or is that I don't think anybody. Or I'm not saying he's not. Only I matter. I'm here now. Oh, baby brother in the house, Harrison. He won his little Fortnite challenge. No, he won a Fortnite challenge. He's gonna go little Fortnite. But happy he's tuning in. I told him to come on. He doesn't like coming on, but it is what it is.
I'm trying to get Tati on my show, and she's not coming on either. What's with your family?
I don't know. I told Tati, and I think she'd be great. And I told her, you guys don't have to talk Dolphins. You guys could talk life.
Talk to a wall. We can talk about literally anything.
That's correct. I absolutely agree. I've talked to her about it. I said there could be a special edition show. We'll figure it out. But again, coach. Oh, let me see. JB, coaches play players that make them win. If McD can't control Fangio, then he is an ineffective leader. And again, JB, I don't think it was more of, and forgive me, I'm not trying to make excuses. I just think that McDaniel, when he hired Fangio, and again, to me, the Fangio hire was a splash move, just like Tyreek, Jalen Ramsey, Bradley Chubb. It was a move because the Dolphins are trying to skip their way into a Super Bowl run. They were trying to patch up big holes with star players to make a run in a star coach in Fangio, a defensive coordinator, where he was promoted. And so what are you going to do? What do you think McDaniel did in order to convince him, hey, don't stay in Philadelphia as a consultant. Come to Miami. You have free reign on our defense. We'll go, you run our defense. We'll go get a guy. We have Bradley, whatever. I'll let you do your job. I'll do mine and roll off that. He let Fangio do it. And it failed. In the end, it ended up failing because the defense didn't finish their job. Offense didn't do their job. So that's why I actually, and Courtney, you follow up and you disagree, agree, whatever you want to say. But I want to say is that's why I'm actually like what the Dolphins are doing right now. They're taking their time. I love that there's 6 and 7 prospect. Well, now 6 potential coordinators that they're interviewing and to me, that's casting a wide net and actually filtering out the guys, and you're not rushing to hire a guy. And whoever guy they get, that's somebody who McDaniel believes this guy's going to help us. It's not, let's get a guy that we think is going to skyrocket our defense and we're going to make that Super Bowl run. No, it's a guy they're making the rise decision now. They're going to get a guy who wants to be here. What do you think, Courtney?
No, I agree. I love the due diligence. I like it makes me feel like the Dolphins kind of have an idea of what they want for their defense or expect. And I feel like they're trying to filter it and find a guy who agrees or, fits in with the direction that they're trying to go. So I appreciate that. I really think that the defense this year just came around to, the only word I can say is a clusterfuck of Fangio didn't want to be here. He wanted to be with the Eagles the whole time. He drug us along for the whole offseason. It was, did he sign? Did he not sign?
That's right.
He settled to be with us. His heart was never in it. Obviously, there was some tampering going on between the Eagles and him, especially at the end, but he never wanted to be here. He didn't see it long-term. It was basically like, okay, the Eagles aren't going to do it. It's not going to work out with them. I guess I'll just go to Miami, get my money, and be on my merry way. So I don't think he put 110%. I don't think that he really gave a shit. I think that he honestly, he was just pissed off that he didn't draft Cam Smith, that, he was saddled with him, despite the fact that I think Cam Smith was the third best corner on the team, from what I saw in the offseason and his college tape. And I think he went out and he got, when Ramsey went down, he decided, I can pick somebody. He picked the worst corner in the league. That's NFL, college, and high school.
You're talking Xavier Howard?
Bobby.
What?
I'll hunt you down.
Eli Apple. There you go.
Eli Apple. And I think that even when Eli was shitting the bed week in and week out, was the target of every quarterback in the NFL. He kept him in because it was a personal vendetta, because he was cranky, he was angry, he didn't really want to be there, and he was just pissed off that he didn't get a say in it. And McDaniel did what McDaniel loves to do, and that is nothing. He had no say in the defense. I think he literally doesn't really know the defense. So he was like, you know what, I'm going to hang it over here, call horrendous plays for the offense, and work on Tua. And you go over there with the defense, go up in the booth, and I'm not even sure if you're even awake. But we'll confer after the game. I'll be like, yo, we need to fix some things. You're going to be like, sure, I'll do that. And then you'll do nothing and I won't check in on you. I don't think there was a checks and balance going on. I think it was free reign, clusterfuck, Eli Apple.
There you go. And that's why I call her the pit bull of the network. She does not hold back for our new viewers who are tuning in right now. And everybody who's watching, whether you're watching on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, we appreciate you watching. We hope you like and subscribe. I'm going to slander X if you keep slandering me.
We both know which one of us is going to fight, and it's me.
There you go.
Listen, I'm just going to put this out there for defensive coordinator. I would be the first female hire in Miami, and that could
that could mean something. All right.
Calling the defense, teams wouldn't stand a chance.
It would be blitz all day, just blitz, kill them all.
It would just be blitz. It would be man, blitz, zone. I would go old school, and as soon as we were off the field, if they effed up, I'm like, you're doing push-ups on the sidelines. I don't give a shit if you're older than me.
So let's talk about potential D coordinators. There was 7. Now we're down back to 6 because and I'm going to say, hopefully I say this name right, Bobby Babich. Babich? How do you say his name?
Babbage?
Babbage. That sounds better. That sounds, it sounds like Bobby Bad Bitch. And, I didn't mean that at all. But in my comment again, look at two. I saw it. I saw your Tua picture. I did. Harrison just texted me. He said, pin my and look at my Tua picture.
I can't really see. Oh, wow. Okay. What are you, a Bill?
He's a troll. He's a living troll. That's Harrison for you. So there was Bobby Babbage, who was the linebackers coach for the Buffalo Bills. And again, to me, when I listened to him, he was kind of like a defensive version, maybe less nerdy, respectfully, than McDaniel. I kind of saw, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. I could see those two sitting in a room being mad scientists, figuring stuff out and whatever. So I wasn't against it.
Yeah.
But he's out the picture. The Buffalo Bills promoted him. I don't know if he's going to call plays. I know Sean McDermott was calling plays. So he's off the table, can care less. Hope he has a terrible career in Buffalo for whatever. But the names that are still on the board, Anthony Campanelli, the linebackers coach for the Miami Dolphins, that would be an in-house hire, which some fans are excited about because they like what they saw in Hard Knocks. I'm not so much. It is what it is. Anthony Weaver, defensive line coach for Baltimore, former D coordinator for Houston Texans, I believe. Leslie Frazier, Minnesota Vikings, former head coach, Buffalo Bills D coordinator, former, who I like preferably. Brandon Staley, former Chargers head coach, former Rams D coordinator, led the #1 defense in Los Angeles. Who's the other one? Slowick? I think I'm
in-house hire.
In-house hire, yeah. Ryan Slowick, who is his brother, just ended up staying. He was a head coaching candidate. Moving on, I don't know what is the outside linebackers coach. So, yeah, that is comforting. And then Chris Kiffin, who is the defensive, I think is he linebackers coach? Defensive line. Anyway, he's set to interview on Friday, and I don't know much on him. But out of those names, and I know you said Rex Ryan, that was your hey, that's my dream hire.
Yeah, hell.
But if there's anybody not on this list right now that I would be happy to see pop on, is Ron Rivera. That's the last guy that I'm okay with this list right now. But give me Ron Rivera, and I'm cool with that. But hey, Ron Rivera's a D coordinator. I'm all for. But anybody on this list, who's your preference right now? Who's in your lead? Who's the lead dog in your house?
Really, they're just fighting for number 2 because none of them I would pick as a number 1.
No. You're not happy with anybody on the list?
No, I'm not happy with anybody on the list.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Who's your number 2 then?
My number 2, right now, I'm actually leaning towards Anthony Weaver.
Interesting. Okay.
I haven't researched him fully yet, but I mean, the Ravens made it to the AFC Championship. I mean, their defense kind of crushed us. They're a solid defense. I think they play a little aggressive, which I like. My problem is that Staley, Frazier, they're all off the Fangio soft zone. I don't like that style of play. I like a little bit more of an aggressive defense, and I think that they're a little softer, a little bit they're off the philosophy of let the dink and dunks happen. I don't like it. I want to get away from that. I mean, honestly, this is why I like Rex Ryan, is because I would love for him to master a defense that could work in today's league, like his father made with the Bears, a 46. I call it the 46. I don't know if it's supposed to be a 4-6, but 8-man in the box, just absolutely load it. You can drop back if you want, drop up, confuse everybody. You don't know what you're doing, a dominant force. And I think that he could really draw that up. I'm just so tired of a soft zone. And I feel like these guys really love a soft zone, but I would probably go Weaver right now. Staley, he did 1 year at the Rams, for God's sake, guys, 1 year as a defensive coordinator. And then the Chargers have had the worst bottom 20 off defense for 3 years. I get he was a head coach, but like he did 1 year and they didn't go to the Super Bowl till the next year with a different defensive coordinator. So you don't know how much to attribute to that 1 year that Staley was there. I don't know how much of that team was his, that he built, that he instilled. I just
something.
Campanelli, like he made one good Hard Knock speech, and everybody's like, "He's our guy." Like,
yeah, I agree
give
with
me
that.
a microphone and a soapbox and a HBO, and I could give you like a loving speech, like an aggressive speech. Like what? That doesn't prove anything to me. He's a likable dude, but what about his play calling? What about his coaching ability? Do we know other than he had a great Hard Knock speech? Come on, take it down a notch, guys.
So, in regards of Staley, let me make sure I get this right here, because I know how the defense did. So the Rams defense the year, because everybody said, "Oh, he got a stacked defense." The year before, he took the job from Wade Phillips, who was a great defensive coordinator, a great coach. They were 13th in the NFL. When he came on, and when you look at the rosters from both defenses for the Rams, when he came on, to me, the one he got was less than the one that was before. They were the number one defense in the NFL. Now, I would love to know what it was the year prior. Let me see. I think this is. Let's see if I can pull that up. I could find it.
Also, all the Dolphin fans that are worried, like 3 different defensive coordinators in 3 years, the Rams didn't win a Super Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah. I I know a lot of people, with football. Yeah. With football, people like, especially, they're like, oh, no consistency at this spot. There's time, coaches on all sets of positions get fired all the time. And, teams win anyway. It's just finding the right guy and putting him in the spot.
Not every team is going to have like a Belichick and a Mike Tomlin that are going to be there for 17, 20 years. I mean, that's a rare breed these days.
Here we go. Okay. So 2019, they were 13th in the NFL under Wade Phillips. In 2020, under Staley, which I think offense and defensive coordinator both got hired, which was Staley and Matt LaFleur. I think LaFleur was the offensive coordinator for the Rams. But Staley, Staley's defense was number one in the NFL and averaged the less points. Their teams averaged 18 points, 18 and a half points. The next season after he was gone, they dropped to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 to the NFL. So 13 went for Wade Phillips, number 1 with Staley, and then Staley gets hired and they drop down to 18. So, and they still had Aaron Donald, they still had Jalen Ramsey, they still had all those guys. I think really they won because of the offense, because they hadn't brought up Matt Stafford. They won that year with the 18th best defense. So I understand your point, and it's fair because like he had 1 year as a defensive coordinator, but that 1 year, that was the best defense in football. And Jalen Ramsey was on that defense, and I think Jalen Ramsey's the lead dog in the house right now, saying, "Hey, this is the guy I want." And I think that's why they interviewed him. And I don't know if it's going to end up happening, but that's why I don't hate the Staley talk. I'm actually, to me, it's like, okay, I'm at the point now. The only one where I'd be like, I don't, I will be okay with it because it's the Dolphins. But the only one that I would be like what you were saying there is Campanelli, because it's like he's been with Miami. He's been our linebackers coach with Flores, et cetera. And how many years have Dolphin fans complained about our linebackers unit?
And what was our weakest unit last year?
Right. So, but because the speech at Hard Knocks, which of course it was fun. I loved it. I thought it was really cool to see. Mm-hmm. But you know what? How did our linebackers unit do with that speech? How did our defense do to finish the season? And that's the guy you want to be our defensive coordinator? No, I'm sorry. Not my, he's the last choice. And if he is the choice, I think that's because no other coordinator wanted to come to Miami. That's just me.
I don't know.
So Leslie Frazier's my number 1. Weaver is good just because of Baltimore. I think coming from Baltimore, it's a winning culture. And, defensive line, Baltimore is just a scary all around. I'd be down with that. Staley is right there too, just because of his history with the defense. I understand the Chargers. You can't ignore that. It's what you've done for me lately. But I'm not against it. I'm not against people saying what they're saying, how you're feeling about it. But that's why I'm not against it.
My biggest concern with Frazier is that he might be too similar to Vic, especially mindset, age, old school. There was a lot. I deep dove on him, and there was a lot at the end of his tenure in Buffalo that fans and players did not like him, did not like playing for him, that he had that that Vic Fangio mentality, coaching style, and it was very unliked up there. So I just worry, is it just getting, just basically like trading off for the same with Frazier?
Well, I think if he's hired, I would have to assume that McDaniel talks to him and they go over a certain situation, whatever happened here. Do we think I understand? Let me see. I'm sorry.
Will they give McDaniel a big say, or is it going to be Grier, your boy Grier?
My boy Grier. So he was the defensive coordinator for he was the secondaries coach for Baltimore after he got fired from Minnesota. He was the Tampa Bay's defensive coordinator, Baltimore Ravens secondary coach, and then from 2017 to 2022, he was defensive coordinator and assistant head coach to the Buffalo Bills. Going back, I just want to take a look here just to get like an average. If you go back to 2017, I think was what I said. If it could be any slower, that'd be great. Gosh. So 2018, that's what's pulling up. It was the second best defense in the NFL. 2019, third best defense. 2020, it dropped to, of course, that's Staley. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. And 2021, number one defense. 2022, number one defense. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. The sixth best defense. And, of course, then what's this guy? This guy takes over because this guy resigns to take a year off, and they dropped to 12 or whatever the hell they did. So, I mean, consistency. And if you look at his defenses, consistently within that top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 range. So we'll see. Maybe a year helped him. Maybe he has time to reflect and whatever. Yeah. I just love that Miami's casting a wide net. I do like it. Again, the only hire that I would be kind of icky about would be Campanelli. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful or whatever to Campanelli. Maybe he does a great job. Maybe he just needed an opportunity. But we're talking work history here. It's not been great. Tell me where he's
on the Slowick. I think he's probably the lowest on my list.
I think he was just that one. Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair.
Because I just feel like I've never even heard of him before.
He didn't get time on Hard Knocks. That's why. And maybe they should have got a thing with him with his family.
I don't. I've also heard like rumor mill about Ronaldo Hill.
Yeah, I remember that. Even though he's not officially on the list, but I did hear that.
I feel so bad for Evero, whatever his name is.
Carolina Panthers, yeah.
They're doing. If he wants to leave and you're trying to force him to stay, that's. They're going to implode. I think, if you're going to block all of these people from interviewing him, and if he wants to leave, you're not going to get his best work product.
I think I know he's interviewing for head coaching jobs, and they're not blocking him for that. They're blocking him for coordinator jobs. Because if teams are asking for permission, and I think, no, everybody's going to be able to, and if I'm somebody, even though I'm happy at my job and I love my job and whatever, If somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, I'd love to talk with you about a position we have open, and here's the pay, and here's the opportunity, I want to listen to that. I may still love what I'm doing, but if my job says, or let's say it's up to my job to say I could interview for that, they could cut me off at the root and say, no, man, that's a lateral move. So I get it. I would love to see Avero. If he was available, I'd be all over that. Even if, just because then I'm like, hey, if something goes down and Miami shits the bed, that's the guy, but he's not going anywhere. Let's talk. You brought up Chris Grier, and how dare you, but we had to anyway. Chris Grier. Yesterday was the premiere of our draft show On the Clock. We talked offensive line, which, if this was the year, the year Miami, I think the number one need for everybody is offensive line, because we don't know if Connor Williams is coming back. We don't know if Armstead's going to retire. We don't know what's going to happen at left guard. So we know Miami has to do something there, and this is the draft to do it. There's too many damn good players not to do it. And you probably get a great player at 21, and the history shows you could.
Yeah.
But more than likely, or not more than likely, the last 2 seasons, the Dolphins have not used their first-round pick. So end of season press conference with Chris Grier, he says, or they ask him, you haven't used this first-round pick in the last 2 seasons. Are you planning on using it this season? And he said, he kind of giggled, and he said, no promises. He said, we'll look at every option, blah, 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 whatever. I took that as that they're going to look, again, to make a patch type of trade. They're going to look for someone, maybe a star linebacker, maybe a star lineman. I don't know. And they're going to throw the first rounder and hopefully grab them and say, hey, would you rather us get that star player, or would you rather us use this pick to draft a young guy? My question for you, first off, is there any one player in the NFL, and realistically, who you think might be available, that Miami could throw the 21st overall pick at, and you're going to be okay that we don't have that first?
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't deep dove into who's actually going to be available on this year, who's expiring, who's going to be free. I haven't really looked into that. But there's not a lot of guys that I would give up that for. And the guys that I would, I don't think will be on your list of free agents. It would be, I would rather at this point probably just draft a young guy, longevity. He's on my list. And what is it? JC Latham. Those are the 2 that are on my
Alabama tackle. Yeah.
Those are the 2 that are on my list right now. They're the 2 guys. Let them know that I have eyes on them. May scare them. But I just, the only 2 players that I would give my first round pick for are going to be Patrick Mahomes or Christian McCaffrey, and Nick Bosa for personal reasons.
Well, one of the names. So, okay. And let me say, Kevin and Craig, great to see you guys in here. California, everyone tuning in. Appreciate you. Kevin said Patrick Surtain Jr. would be my only player. He's the corner for the Broncos. I actually seen his name out there. I'm not against this. If you could get maybe 2 more picks, you trade back, get, if that's early second round, you could get 2 extra picks in the draft. I'm absolutely okay with that, because this draft is deep. Yeah. And, I'm cool with that. Powers Johnson, we love this guy. We've been talking on him. We loved on him yesterday on our live draft show.
Don't love him. I said this earlier, I'll say it again. He has small calves and he doesn't hold doors for old women. So if you're planning to draft him, that's just, I would surpass him. He's not great. He's not tremendous, and I wouldn't love to have him. Just cover my in case there's other teams listening here.
Fair enough. I will say, you say Nick Bosa. One of the names that would not surprise me in any spot, really, but if it's a name that could be out there, is Joey Bosa from the Chargers. That's one. The other, I'm going to say these because I know these are guys that could be moved, is Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos, wide receiver. I don't know. Well, he could be worth a first-round pick that late, but I don't know if I'm really comfortable with that. I'd rather draft a wide receiver in this class because there's a lot of good ones.
Mhm.
And third is the wild card. I'm gonna roll with Aaron Donald.
That's a good one.
He was kind of teased before the deadline. Christian Wilkins gets moved. You fill that hole with Aaron Donald, who's a pass rusher, and big. That kind of saves face. Alex, the boy, will be joining us shortly. He is just popping on.
It's only been 40 minutes.
40 minutes. I mean, take your time, bro. No, just
super punctual. Better have won that game.
Hey, he's Cuban time. He's on Cuban time. It's all good.
I don't agree with Cuban
but
time.
Yeah, I'm not against trading. Oh, he just kicked. Dude.
Boom.
Dick.
Just
dick
like that.
Move.
Boom. Just got it. Just fucking shut up.
Dick move.
What's up, guys? Hey, ladies.
That's the last time I compliment your beard at the beginning of the show. I heard that.
She did. She complimented it at the top of the show.
Oh, you see? Thank you. It's back. It's still here.
Yeah, she made me feel horrible. She's like, "It's the best beard." I'm like, going like this. Whatever.
Don't worry, because if he keeps his attitude up, he may not have that beard one morning.
Oh, there we go.
Damn, like that. All right, cool. Cool. Alex, how was your game, brother?
It was a close one, but we lost. It was a double senior night. They had to cancel our JV game, so we had bus pickup like at 6:15. But it's in Crop, and Crop High School is on 215th and like North Miami Avenue, so it's like 45 minutes away. So, the bus picked us up at 9:45 and just dropped us off in school like around 10:20, 10:25. By the time the boys got picked up, obviously I just got here. I literally just got home, peed, and got on. So.
No, thank you for sharing.
Let me go wash my hands. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
How you guys been?
Good. So we touched on, and I guess we get your opinion on it. We were touching on the defensive coordinator search for Miami.
Okay.
And I guess we could straight up ask you right now, since we kind of touched on everything else, but do you have any preferred candidate for Miami that you like so far out of the names you've seen?
I don't have anybody of preference. I like the fact that they've made a vast search, like that. Like you can kind of see how important this is because it's not like a quick. I really wanted the guy from Buffalo, the one that Buffalo promoted,
Bobby Bad Bitch.
Yes, that bro with that name alone,
right?
Man, that should be the head coach. Like he should be the head coach just for that name alone. I really wanted him. I don't mind Leslie Frazier, but I kind of want a coach that is in the same. I don't want to say the same age. I don't want to be. An ageist, is that what we call it? I don't want to discriminate against age here. But I want a coordinator that's in tune with the modern day player. That doesn't mean, about being soft or anything, because I know that's a lot of the talk, a soft player, soft coach. But I have always believed a coach has to be relatable to his players and has to be able to adapt to the talent on the roster. And nothing against Fangio, but even the way he went about things is really old school in regards to there's a lot of disconnect with the players. And you lose a lot of the players with that attitude. And like I said, nothing bad about Fangio, but I kind of want. So I'm not too bad off on Leslie Frazier. I am intrigued by the Baltimore one, the associated coach from Baltimore. It's
Anthony Weaver.
Weaver. Yeah. Yes, I do like Weaver. So I'm between Weaver and, like I said, I don't know if Campanelli is there. I know that he's under consideration and he interviewed. But I hope it's not a situation where if he doesn't get a promotion, we lose him because I really like him. But I think Frazier's your safe bet. I really do. But
why would you be afraid to lose Campanelli?
I feel he has a great impact for the state of the team. I understand what he was working with, and it might not have been as productive, the talent that he had. But I do feel that he has a good understanding of the culture and what they're trying to build.
Okay.
I think he's respected by the players. He's definitely a player's coach.
Sure.
So it's one of those situations where now you're starting to see a lot of the coaches that were part of Miami's staff, even with Philbin, and they're head coaches now, and they're respected. Even Ben Johnson, which I'm actually happy he turned down those jobs with the Seahawks and the Commanders. I like when coordinators sometimes don't leave a good situation. Kind of like the assistant coaches for the Heat for a lot of times. They just don't leave on the first offer because they like the situation that they're in. But
do they like the situation now? Oh,
that's just temporary. Don't worry, guys. It's gonna pass.
Goon Squad tease.
This too shall pass. This too shall pass. That's the theme tomorrow. This too shall pass.
I haven't been
There's
drunk
ways.
on Goon Squad yet. It might have to happen.
Say what?
But I haven't been drunk on Goon Squad. But
You might need one for tomorrow.
That would be the goon part. That's definitely the goon part. We should all do a show.
just drunk.
Just drunk. Everybody should just be drunk or sleepy. Like that would be an epitome of a show.
I'll drink NyQuil like 3 hours before, but because I don't drink. I'm
Hey
like,
guys, shut up.
No,
I
I think we should absolutely do it.
That's awesome. We should actually do that.
So Courtney's with you. She is down with Anthony Weaver.
Yeah.
She's very intrigued with. I was saying this is what I liked about or I was intrigued by Bobby Babich, and I know I'm butchering his name.
Just say it, Bobby. The bitch.
I said bad bitch. That's what
Bad
I've been
bitch.
saying. And that's why I was like, but when I listened to him and I've seen, obviously, first of all, you say Anthony Campanelli, everybody loved him from Hard Knocks, but the truth is, you look at his resume and you see what these guys have done on defense with linebacker. It hasn't been great. Whether talent there's not, it hasn't been great. But you look over at Buffalo and their linebackers group and what they've done over the years, he has a resume that a good track record. So that went for him. So that's why I didn't hate it. And then when I watched him, when I was watching him talk and I was seeing how he carried himself and everything in press conference, I was like, I could see this synergy between him and McDaniel.
Yes.
And he seemed like a less, and I mean that respectfully, a less nerdy McDaniel. Like he seemed like, the way he looked. So I was like, I could see, I'm intrigued by this. Now, he's staying in Buffalo. They made a smart move. They promoted him.
Of course.
But I hope he has a horrible rest of his career in Buffalo. It's all good. Why
we'll torch him.
That's right. I was telling her my preference is, I'm intrigued by Weaver because of where he's coming from. He's a former defensive coordinator in Houston, but you see his work in Baltimore and what Baltimore has done the last few years. I'm intrigued by that. Leslie Frazier, I like a lot. He was on my short list when we did the breaking news show. Former head coach, but his work with Buffalo just last year in the past, we just went over averaging number 1, number 2, 3, 5, defenses in the NFL. And then he leaves and they drop, so I'm down with that. And I could see, I know they're the same age group, but I don't really see the same type of philosophy. And
not with
Fangio was, if Frazier comes here, he's coming here because he wants to come here.
Yeah.
He's not thinking like, oh man, I hope Buffalo hires me back. Oh, we got a wink, wink, jing. We'll come back next year. That's what we just talked about. That's what Fangio had. He had a wink, wink deal with Philadelphia.
Exactly. Why?
He had a thing where it's like, okay, we'll come. I'm going to go do this work for here. You guys do this, and I'll come back next season. And he even said it. He said it, and that's why. Remember, you were like, "What?" When I told you, I feel this is a one and done job with Fangio.
Yeah.
Because he never fully felt
From the beginning,
like he was
felt
here.
it. Exactly.
Yeah. And
exactly.
so that's why, I'm fine with it. Leave, goodbye, and that. But I don't hate the Frazier thing because I know what Frazier could bring. Maybe, and I think he's going to gel with these players a lot more, and he could get the best out of a defense that's going to be lackluster compared to what it was last year with the talent.
Yeah.
So, and I don't hate Staley because of what
philosophy.
Staley did. Yeah, and I don't hate Staley because of what Staley did. The defense with the Rams. I don't hate. I know about the Chargers. I understand the Chargers.
Yeah, but look. I hate when people do that. Like, there's a lot of coordinators that haven't been good head coaches, and then they go back to being a good coordinator. So there's no necessity for that. Like, people always going to talk these shits, but his defenses were nice with the Rams. Like, he had a legit defense, and he was a great defensive coordinator.
It was 13 with Wade Phillips, and people were saying, "Oh, he inherited a stacked defense." When I look at the defenses, the one with Wade Phillips, which was 13th in the NFL, was more stacked. It had Eric Waddle, Jalen Ramsey, Leonard. I'm trying to think, obviously Aaron Donald, etc. Had those guys. It was 13th in the NFL. The defense. A lot of good players were gone. Eric, I think that was his name, Eric Waddle.
Yeah, the safety.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
He was gone. A lot of players were gone. They were number 1 in the NFL.
Mhm.
He leaves. He gets hired. Both coordinators got hired for jobs. Matt
Yes.
before with Green Bay.
Yep.
Staley with the Chargers. I forgot who their D coordinator was after, but that they dropped it. Was it 18th? I believe. Courtney.
I think it was Raheem Morris. Was it Raheem Morris? I think
Yeah.
after him.
Maybe Raheem Morris,
Raheem
but they
Morris.
dropped it. Oh, Spagnuolo. Wait, not Spagnuolo. I think it was Raheem Morris. But they dropped, but they won the Super Bowl that year because of the offense. They were the top offense in football.
Mhm.
So to me, it's like you see it was 13th, you rose to number 1, and then when he
Mhm.
leaves, same players, we're talking about stacked defense supposedly, drops all the way down to 18. So he had an impact, and that's why Jalen Ramsey likes him, and Jalen Ramsey kind of went
Absolutely.
back from Twitter.
Absolutely. He can
So
vouch
that's
for
why
it.
I'm not against it. I know people are like, oh, the Chargers, but I'm not against it. Kevin has some comments in here. I don't want to miss it. Bring back a Boyer Florida style defense. Our team was built for that style.
Yeah.
Not a run.
4-3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Aggressive 4-3.
Maybe Flores would want to come back as the D coordinator. I don't know.
Spags is going to go head coach. He's not going to.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. I think he'll get a job.
Did you guys who do you think? Because honestly, if I'm Bill Belichick or I'm Pete Carroll, I don't want the Commander's job. I don't want the
Belichick will take a year off. I think he's gonna take a year off.
Commentary. Who do you think ends up with the Commander's job?
Ooh.
Because now supposedly they're high after Ben Johnson. So
he's out.
He's back. He's back. And I'm pretty sure he got a nice raise too to stay as the OC in Detroit. So who do you think ends up with the Commander's job?
So you got Dan Quinn is still available. I think he interviewed today.
Vrabel is still available. I don't know how that.
What's going on with Vrabel, dude? Like
I think he's picking a situation. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Seattle or sit out a year because there's going to be more openings next year.
I wouldn't be surprised if he looked to take a D coordinator job this year just to kind of stay
You think
inside.
so?
Yeah, with Vrabel. Belichick is going to take a year off. He'll take a TV job.
You see, that's one situation I don't want Miami to fall into. Like, that's one thing I think they would be against hiring Vrabel because they know he's just 1 year away removed from.
But I don't think that's on the table. I think that's why they hired Fangio.
Yeah.
I think they knew Fangio had a wink deal. I don't think this is a surprise to them. That's why I said, they mutually parted ways. Remember, and I said this on the breaking news episode.
Mm-hmm.
Fangio was a splash move, just like Jalen Ramsey, just like Tyreek Hill, just like Bradley Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Miami is. And it's respectfully, Miami is a patch it up job. It's not a let's build a foundation and let's sustain a culture and move up. No, we got to win. We got Tyreek, we got Jalen Ramsey, we got this. So they're going to hire a coordinator they think is going to, So they knew. So any coach they're going to hire, hopefully it's on synergy with Mike McDaniel, but they're thinking who's going to make this defense continue what it was last year, but also kind of get better. So I don't think it's more of, we're going to hire a guy that we could sustain with. It's a guy who's going to help us win now.
But I also think you need to hire someone that's hungry. You need to hire someone that's hungry. That's
for
something.
Me, that's why I love Vrabel. But that was only if Miami had a head coaching opportunity. If it was a head coaching thing, Vrabel's probably number 1 on my list. The coordinator, Leslie Frazier's right there with Staley, because those guys, I believe, come in for a job trying to prove they could still do it, and they're going to come in hungry, and they're going to get the best out of their guys. What was it?
I don't remember Leslie Frazier ever having a bad defense, even when he was the head coach in Minnesota.
No.
He's always had solid defenses.
And that's why, and I think that year off was good for him. And again, with that, no wink, and not like that with Buffalo or whomever. I think he's and he let's be real, most coaches do, especially with him, who's been a head coach before. They want that head coaching opportunity. That's why they take those interviews. So of course, he's going to take that job and be hungry. But let's not pretend that he's not going to go. If somebody calls him next year and goes, "Hey, we want to interview," he's not going to go jump at that opportunity.
Exactly.
Courtney, you've been quiet. What are you thinking?
I'm still in Rex Ryan land. I think that he can be better than all these guys. I think that they're all second-class citizens compared to Rex Ryan and what I think he could do. Even Mike Pettin. I would go Mike Pettin over it.
Pettin's different. See, Rex Ryan to me, and this respectfully,
the Dolphins haven't told me to consult
outside. He's been outside the league for a while. Obviously coordinator. I mean, as an analyst, he's been. But it's the same thing with people every year. Now they finally stop, but they're like Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher needs to be the head coach. Every time Dolphins had an opportunity, Bill Cowher. It was like, yeah, that was cool. After 2 years, he was fired. 3 years. You see, it's great, but let's be real. They've been outside the league for a while. Like look what happened with John Gruden. He was outside the league for a while on ESPN doing Monday Night Football. He takes the Raiders job and shits to bed. So like if Rex Ryan was a year, 2 years out and he did TV for 2 years and he came back, that's a different beast. But because he's been outside so long,
I feel like coaches can be out longer than players. I think a coach, if they're out, they're still around the NFL. They're still watching film. They're still analysting. They're still the analyst job.
True.
That's different than a player being out of football shape. So I feel like the time out doesn't always equate to a coaching position as it would to like, people saying Colin Kaepernick should go back in as a quarterback. Like those are two different situations for your body to be in. Rex Ryan is just in his blood. Like his pedigree to me is just defensive eliteness. Even Pettin, I like his style of coaching. But yeah, I mean, I think Weaver would be my top candidate. Frazier would be like number 2. But I'm not like in love with any of them. I'm happy that Miami's going out there and interviewing everybody available. I just, don't understand why they didn't call me, but whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I threw your name out there. I was like, what about her?
I'm a female. We get like female cred. Like for
that's what it is. That's why they're not interviewing you.
Coordinator? Are you kidding me? I did that
job. And I understand now because we had Fangio. Everybody's scared of the senior guy. I'm not. Okay, you can't throw them all in the same stew. Mike Pettin, who's younger than those guys, but Mike Pettin, Leslie Frazier, Anthony. I don't agree with that. Not every guy's the same. And Leslie Frazier was just a D coordinator last season, and he had the number 1 defense. So it's like, Rivera has been in the league, and even though he flamed out as a head coach, 2-time coach of the year, been to the Super Bowl, even though he flamed out as a head coach towards the end of his career, his players love him. I never hear bad things about Ron Rivera. So I understand the Vic Fangio thing. You're on mute, Alex.
Sorry. You see, I just want to mention Ron Rivera is a person that I don't see being a DC. Like he's either a head coach or he's going to stay retired.
Oh, no, he's interviewed for DC. He's interviewed.
Oh, he is?
DC. Yeah.
Who did he interview with?
Yeah, he interviewed with. I'll tell you right now. I just saw it today.
Anybody?
I used to love Ron Rivera in Chicago, man. That was oof. And it's funny because he took over. Did he took over for Vic Fangio when Vic Fangio left, or Vic Fangio took over for Ron Rivera when Ron Rivera left?
The Rams interviewed Ron Rivera for defensive coordinator.
Holy shit!
Yesterday.
That's a veteran experience.
Yeah,
it could help out.
That's what we
can have a relationship, man.
Say what?
Team. We can't do another young. We already have a young, inexperienced head coach. I don't think we need that on the defense, and especially because McDaniel's so hands off with the defense last year. He's not going to.
I think that's going to change.
That needs to change. He needs to give up some of the offensive reins and some of the defensive reins and be a head coach. Like you're supposed to be head of both departments.
You got to manage the game,
not just.
Kevin, me and Courtney are in the same boat with you. We don't know enough about him right now to give an opinion on him. I'm glad, again, the only thing I would say to that is I'm glad that they are including him. I'm glad they have a wide net, like Alex we brought up earlier. That's one thing I'm more comfortable with this process than last year's process.
Yes.
To me, they're really, so any guy they do hire, the only guy, two now, because Courtney brought it up, but it's true. The only one that I'm like, that I'll be, and if it does go down, it is what it is, support it, whatever. The only one that I'm not super high on, Ryan Slark being another, is the Capinelli, because he's been here. We've seen what his defense has done. Just because he had a great speech on Hard Knocks, it's not like, oh my God, he's amazing. It's like, no, it's not working. We need to get a guy who could do it. That's why I'd rather the outside guy. But Alex, let me ask you this. We were just touching on this, and I brought up the names that would be okay. Chris Grier, last 2 seasons, has said, last 2 seasons, he's traded his first-round pick. Okay, we haven't had a first-round pick in Miami. Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb. Was it Jalen Ramsey as well? Because they had multiple picks, right?
Jalen Ramsey was like a 3rd-round pick and a tight end. Yeah, it wasn't a first.
Wasn't at first. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but 2
Because
first
we
round
took on the
picks,
salary.
Bradley Chubb, Tyreek Hill.
Uh-huh.
This offseason, in the end season press conference, they asked him, they say, hey, look, you know, you haven't used your first round pick. Are you planning on using it this year? He said, no promises. Kind of giggled, no promises. He said, even though Mike McDaniel would like one, and Mike McDaniel kind of looked at him and they kind of giggled and whatever. So, of course, I take it as, you know what? They know their window is closing. I think this is a one, you know, they got this 3 year now. It's going on year 2 or whatever, going into year 3 of Tyreek. That window, I think 1 more year, then it's going to be out the door. So they know this last year, they got to really try to make a run. And I'm going to go over possible salary cap here that I saw here from someone earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They have the 21st overall pick right now. There is a lot of good Hunter Long in a 3rd round pick. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin coming in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
They got the 21st overall pick. We had our premiere show yesterday on the clock, our draft show. We were going off offensive line, which seems to be the number 1 need amongst most Dolphin fans.
Yeah.
Steve in the house, Steve Malloy. So a popular name amongst Dolphin fans, apparently. We brought him up yesterday, and it seems like it not from us, but just in general, it must like spoken to the universe. His name's all out there. Is Powers Johnson out of Oregon, the center. This dude is a beast. Josh Wingate said his comparison is Jason Kelce, center for the Philadelphia Eagles. So Dolphins at 21 could get a great pick, and history shows that teams do get very good players at 21. Vince Wilfork of the Patriots was drafted at 21. First question is, well, no, okay, not would you rather keep or anything. If you were to move 21, is there any 1, 2 players that you would say, you know what, if we had to move that pick, and I think, but they would be for this guy, because this guy would make the ultimate difference for this football team?
This I wouldn't move that pick for, unless it's to move up, and I'm attaching it to another player, because they identified a player maybe in the teens that they really want. I'm not discounting quarterback. I doubt it, but I don't think they're gonna go QB. Offensively, I think they're gonna address the tight end situation. I don't see any tight end available that we would trade. Patrick Surtain. That might be a.
You said a tight end to trade up for? Is that what you're saying?
No. They're not trying for tight end. I'm saying if they identify a player that they like, that they really want, and they
did bring up a player yesterday. Just talking tight end very quick. The one tight end that you would have to trade up for is the Georgia tight end Brock Bowers, who is a legit player, absolutely. But again, this tight end market, just like wide receiver, just like offensive line, is very, very deep. Brian Burns is a good player, Kevin.
Brian Burns too. Steve, I do think they're going to draft a quarterback. And if they identify a talented quarterback, I would not be surprised if they do. I don't think it's going to be first round, but I do believe they're going to draft another quarterback this year. But I was going to the Chargers.
Oh,
you know what?
He's mocking it.
You know what? I would love, and I know it's not attainable, but I would love for some way, somehow, if we could get our hands on Marvin Harrison Jr. I would do
that's a mega
anything.
trade up. That's a 1, 2, 3.
That's my dog. That's my dog chasing a possum. Well, it's funny. He will bark until the possum is gone. Absolutely gone. I'll be right back. Let me open the door so you can go.
Go ahead. So you didn't have to turn off your camera, bro. I mean, you could have just left it. Now it looks awkward, but they really need to, Alex. So quarterback. I say don't sleep on any position for the Miami Dolphins this season at 21 at the second round, minus the quarterback. Not because I wouldn't want it, but because I just don't think the Dolphins could afford that with what the team is right now. I do think they could target one later in the draft. We touched on it yesterday. I think any team should draft the quarterback. If you don't, even if you have a franchise, look what, even if you have a franchise, look what the Green Bay Packers did when they had Brett Favre, they drafted Aaron Rodgers. When they had Aaron Rodgers, they drafted Jordan Love. I believe drafting a quarterback every season until you hit on it. Or if the guy's later in his career, you draft the quarterback and let him sit for a couple of years, and then you go that way. If they fall in love with a quarterback like Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy, they're going to draft them. You can disagree with me all you want. I'm just giving my opinion. This team has bigger needs, and I think Tua is the quarterback at least for another season. Guys that are later in the draft that would intrigue me enough to get one. Joe Milton out of Tennessee is one. Sam Hartman out of Notre Dame is another. Look what Kansas City did. Absolutely. Alex Smith, Pat Mahomes. Yeah, absolutely. I get it.
The thing with Kansas City, obviously, Alex Smith was already, 34, 35 when that happened?
I don't know his age. I don't think was he that old at that point? I don't think he was that old.
What was he, like 31, 32?
Yeah, he wasn't that old at that point. Hartman is a sleeper. I agree with that. I'm Sam Hartman.
Those are situations. Hey, don't get me wrong. If Tua doesn't get his extension, they might negotiate a short-term extension or a long-term extension that they can remove themselves from short-term. But if he doesn't sign that contract and you identify someone that you believe could be the future, then yeah, go for it. But I still don't see that. This year.
And maybe a conversation is had, Anthony.
Yeah.
If a guy like Bo Nix falls to Miami at 10,
at a certain range, exactly.
Jaden Daniels out of LSU, who's speed, he's just going to add speed. Maybe there's a conversation. And again, I'm not against it. I'm just telling you what I believe. I don't think you should sleep on any position. That includes a quarterback, but quarterback would be the lowest one right now. 21, Alex brought up Marvin Harrison. Wide receiver, do not sleep at wide receiver at 21. Do not do it.
Do not. If it's a possession receiver, kind of like the Claypool build, 6'4", tall receiver, man.
Look, Tyreek Hill is possibly on his last year next year. Tyreek Hill was injured this season a lot. Wasn't 100%. Jalen Waddle was in and outside the lineup. A lot of times, Courtney brought it up a lot at the end of the season, was Braxton Berrios, what he was. Miami needs that unit. They need a compatible guy. And don't get me wrong, and Courtney, I'll let you respond right now. Cedric Wilson had some good moments, and maybe he could do something next season, but it's obvious that they're kind of stuck with what they have now. Go ahead, though, Courtney. What do you want to say?
Steve, I don't need a rant. I just feel like
yes, she does.
We have enough flashy positions. We need to get fundamental. I'm
down with that.
Enough of the running backs and the tight ends, the skill positions. Cool, great. Dime a dozen. We can get them. We need linemen. We need linebackers. We need to stir up the front because it doesn't matter. We can go get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's cool, but Tua's not gonna throw to him because he's gonna get crushed.
He will. He will. Nonstop.
Tua's not going to. Tua's going to be rushed. They're going to meet his face. He's going to panic. He's going to miss the read, and he's going to throw a terrible throw. Or he's going to take the sack. Or he's going to do one of his runs where he really gets back to the line of scrimmage. It's not going to happen. We need fundamentals, guys. Big guys. It's big boy season.
I'm not arguing with you.
I'm not arguing with you. Spend my first 2 picks getting 2 big boys. And I want to put them, I don't care if it's on the defensive line, I don't care if it's on the offensive line, preferably offensive line, but I want 2 big boys. And then you can go and you can get your flashy, whoever the hell you want. I'm sure, dime a dozen, a boy that can run a 4.3. Dime a fucking dozen. Also, while we're at it, can we please put Ethan Bonner as our return man? My dude runs a 4.3, and we have him
and he's gonna play. He's gonna play a big role this year.
We'll see.
He's gonna play a big role this year.
We'll see. But anyway, stop getting your flashy positions, your big name dudes. Go shore up fundamentals. You know why Jalen Hurts looks so great? Because that offensive line lets him be. Lamar Jackson, you know why he's so good? Because he has 18 years to throw. Patrick Mahomes, 25 years to throw. Why is that? Big boys up front. If you
make
Well, can I let me just you said two quarterbacks that I wouldn't put in the same conversation. I think it's not fair.
I'm not talking skill of quarterback.
She's talking about time.
I'm talking about
Because
time to throw.
how about
boys up front?
Jared Goff? Jared Goff. Look at what he was able to do, even though they lost that last game. But look at the offensive line for Detroit.
You're going into the quarterback. I'm staying on the line. I'm saying, look at how these.
But you brought up the quarterback. You said Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, who can run without getting hurt.
I was talking AFC Championship that just happened. If you watch that game, both quarterbacks had like 8 light years to throw each. Like that, the lines were that was the dominant force. That's what helped it get going. And Tua doesn't have that. Dolphins sure as hell don't have that.
And
bring back Richie Incognito because we have not had a big boy like that on our line in years.
And you can tell it was a philosophical build with what they were, what they basically decided was, we don't need to invest that much in this line because I'm going to get the ball out in 2 seconds. Okay, perfect, that's fine. But now 2.5 seconds. Now you see the evolution of it, and you're like, okay, we can shore up certain pieces. We might not need to go all out, but we do need to assure ourselves there's a certain time frame because it's not only about having a strong line. Tua has to improve in the offseason. Tua, honestly, I still think Tua has to lose maybe 10, 15 pounds. He has to be more mobile. He has to play like he was playing before concussions last year. But also, what you just mentioned, I was reading one of the comments, is how do you utilize your weapons? There are weapons that we have on this roster that we're not utilizing the right way. So I expect a different package for Devon Achane, depending on who his second running mate is, because obviously you're going to go to the remote trip.
I don't want to make this about Tua, but I'm going to say this.
Go.
The reason why we're not using those weapons is because, and the same thing. You brought it up. You brought it up last show, Alex. You asked me. You said, why was this year's Tua different from last year's Tua? Because he seemed more athletic last year. He was running around and doing different things. But this year he would slide 10 yards in front of the first down when
he was playing conservative.
The game because he was afraid to get hurt.
Yeah.
His goal this season was not to get hurt. And it was obvious with the tweets that were coming out from his team after the season. Oh, mission accomplished, or whatever the hell it was, because he did not get hurt.
Yeah.
And you read between them. And I told you, and it's the same thing with our weapons. Why aren't these weapons? Jalen Waddle,
Barrios this year.
Whatever. Why was Tyreek Hill? You look at it and you go, well, it's the quarterback, and it is what it is. That's why you got to build a team around the quarterback to win, because you can't hope that he puts the team on his back and carries you. He's not that guy. People have to stop pretending he is.
No,
he's good, but he's not that guy.
I'm with you, and I respect everybody's opinion.
Around you, like if we had Christian McCaffrey, you're telling me we wouldn't win more like a playoff game?
Yeah, because they wouldn't run it, take away from the run. They have to run the ball. They got a talent like Christian McCaffrey.
But that's what I'm saying. We had the talent this year to run the football. So this is not only about Tua and you have a quarterback, you're gonna use your weapons. That comes from being above, and that's a learned process in game. That's why Kyle Shanahan, he's doing this now in his what's his 6th year in as a head coach, or 7 years as a head coach?
Who?
Kyle Shanahan.
I'm not sure, but you're right. We're somewhere around there. 5 to 6 years.
There's struggles that you have to be comfortable in your own skin. By year 3 as a coach, Mike McDaniel always looks comfortable in his own skin, but he had to learn. He had a big learning curve as a head coach, no matter what. So there are things that you can have Tua the game manager. That's fine, but you also, if you're going to max out, you need to have Tua playing the max Tua can play, and we know he can play better even out of the pocket. There's schemes that you can do for him where it's not necessarily always 2.5 seconds. Get him out of the pocket. Flush him out. Make him run. Do you want to make him mobile?
Because Hunter says the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL can extend plays.
Yes,
Tua,
that's what I want.
2 seasons ago, was able to extend plays.
Yes.
But here's the issue with that. Do you want Tua for 8 games, or do you want him, or for 12 to 13 games, or do you want him a full season?
I'll take the risk of Tua for 8 games. Why?
Then you better have a legitimate backup. Because you're not going to have him the full season.
That's fine.
I would like to make this my prediction. I've said it once before, but I would like to go after Russell Wilson. to be backing up Tua, a veteran presence, also somebody a threat to Tua, and somebody that if Tua does go down, I would trust Russell Wilson to go there with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Maybe
Absolutely, but I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready for a backup role. Where
Russell Wilson? Yeah, I know.
But I'm saying Russell Wilson or a Russell Wilson type.
Oh
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
love Russell Wilson, but that was
whoa. Oh, everything's
Damn,
just falling
Alex, you
apart.
just got here and you pissed her off, dude. Damn.
the Lord has spoken. We need Russell Wilson.
Kirk
That's right.
Cousins will be the perfect backup, but he's still not there yet. He's 2 years away from being a backup. Alex Smith would have been the perfect backup for a Tua. Those type of quarterbacks is what you're looking at.
Ryan Tannehill.
Right? Hey, I'm
Matthew
okay with it.
The best backup we've ever had.
I
Matthew
love
who?
Sam
I'm
Howell,
sorry.
actually.
Oh,
I
Matt
love
Moore.
Sam
Matt
Howell.
Moore. Trade for Sam Howell.
Matt Moore.
But Ryan Tannehill, legitimately, no joke. KJ Jefferson, dude. He is. I think he's going back to school. I think he actually transferred. I've been on KJ Jefferson for a while out of Arkansas. I think he went to a new school. So he's going back to college for at least one more year. But yeah, Michael, I'm with you on KJ Jefferson, dude. Big guy, big arm, can run. Physical all around. Somebody brought up cap space, and I want it because they said we don't have cap space.
What about Josh Dobbs? Is Josh Dobbs on the contract for next year?
No, I think he's on a 1-year deal, so he'll be a free agent. Dobbs is somebody I talked about earlier in the season as a backup. Neil Draskell on Twitter tweeted this, talking about Miami's Dolphins salary cap situation.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, the Dolphins are $52 million over the cap, but easily can create an absorbent amount of cap space. New deals, extensions with Tyreek Hill. One with Tyreek Hill creates $15 million. One with Tua creates $12 million. You restructure Jalen Ramsey and Bradley Chubb, and you release Agba. Well, excuse me. You restructure Jalen Ramsey, 18.2. Bradley Chubb, 14. Of course, this is hearsay. This is kind of, I'm sure he's using a thing online. But, so take it as it is. Release Emmanuel Agba, 13.8. Jerome Baker, 9.8. Mike White, 3.5. Jeff Wilson, 2.9. Keaton Cross at 2.9. Duke Riley, 2.5. And post-June release, sorry, Courtney, Xavier Howard, 18.5.
You had me till Xavier Howard.
I know.
Cam Smith, Courtney, get ready.
So,
Cam Smith.
Like Cam Smith, but he is not Xavier Howard.
So, $42.8 million in cap space, plus an additional $18.5 million after June 1st. So, but then you look at the players that are going. I mean, and again, Agba, Baker, those two specifically are like, damn, I know, deuces, I know. And then Howard. Deuces.
I'll pack his bags for him.
But again, that's money you could use to go and you get, you don't have to pay a buttload of money to go bring in one guy. Balance out your roster. Look what Kendall Lamb was able to do in place of Terron Armstead.
Yeah.
Look at guys like that to help fill that out. Mr. Bill says Dahl is right because Grier tried to trade for Wilson. Justin Fields, he's going to be traded, and he's going to go to a team that's willing to give up he has high value right now. I think a team's going to give up something for him, and it won't be Miami, at least in my opinion. We would have to add Wilkins' franchise tag. If he does, they're going to let Wilson. They're going to let Wilkins test
Wilkins
free
can't get
agency.
franchise. He can't get franchise.
He already franchised.
Yeah, Wilkins can't get franchise. It's the transition tag or something like that. The other one.
I think that was what it was. But either way, Chris Grier has already stated, and that, to me, you got again. listen to that press conference, which was a whole lot of nothing, but waiting between the lines. He said Christian Wilkins has earned the right to test free agency. To me, that said, he said at that point he was telling you, we have an offer on the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. We're not going to upgrade it. We're not going to offer more than that. And if you franchise him, you're going to pay more than that for at least a season. We're not going to get more than that. Here's the offer. Go test free agency. Go see what you could get. If you could get more, we appreciate you. Thank you for everything you've done. Goodbye. If you don't get it, an offer's here on the table. Continue being salt and pepper. We move forward. So I think he is it's a sign extension or he's gone with Christian Wilkins. I don't know. I don't know about a franchise tag. I don't have the info in front of me, but I don't see him. I don't see them throwing the franchise tag on him. I really don't.
There's another hole. What are you gonna do? We don't have a plethora of money. We don't have a plethora of draft picks. We definitely don't have somebody in the wings that's going to fill in and take his spot.
Yeah, we'll see. We will see. But in regards to, say what?
Chris Grier strikes again.
That's right. Chris Grier strikes again, and that's what I'm saying. You know, I know we have a lot of hopes, but just don't be surprised if that 21st pick is moved for some big time name player. And we got that 2nd, 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, whatever it may be. And we go that route.
Justin Jefferson.
Gosh.
No, thank you.
Again, we brought it up.
I'm playing. I don't want to.
Courtney said, and obviously more joke than anything, but Pat Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey. We were talking about if you were to give up the pick, who would you give it up for?
Okay.
The guys I brought up were
So that was a personal choice.
Joey Bosa from the Chargers,
Mm-hmm.
Jody Broncos, but I think 21 might be a little high.
Sam Laporta from the Lions.
Yeah, right. And then the one I said don't sleep on, the one I said like it's my wild card, even though I haven't seen it. I know he was available at the in the deadline, but we'll see. Is Aaron Donald from the Rams? That is the other one. Defensive line.
21st overall pick.
You lose Christian Wilkins. You bring in someone like Donald.
I think that's high. That's high for
what? What's high for what?
A 24 first overall pick for Aaron Donald.
Yeah, do you know who Aaron Donald is?
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't do it.
What the hell are you talking about?
I wouldn't do it right now.
You must be high.
No, man.
You must be high on that bus.
I'm not trading 21 first. No.
Oh, dude, you're out of your mind.
What are you talking about? I traded a 3rd round pick.
Chris Jones all day. Chris Jones.
Oh yeah, Chris Jones for sure.
Day.
How old is Chris Jones? Like 26, 27?
Dude, stop asking about ages. You're probably way off on that one.
Aaron Donald's like 35, 36. Like, that's way too. I traded a 3rd round pick in Hunter Long for Jalen Ramsey. I'm not trading my 21st overall pick for Aaron Donald.
How old do you think Aaron Donald is?
You're not.
Isn't he 34?
32.
32?
32.
Okay.
And Chris Jones.
Watch Chris Jones be older than Aaron Donald.
He's young. He's 29. Younger.
29. Okay.
Younger. Okay. But the rest of the Dolphins football team is a 2-year rental. Jalen Ramsey's not going to be here long term. He's a 2-year rental. Tyreek Hill is a 1-year rental now. He's a 3-year rental.
I think Ramsey will stick it out. Honestly, one of my priorities this offseason is Javon Holland. I want to see an extension with Javon Holland. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, the whole team is a 2-year rental, so that's why. That's why this team is not let's get a guy who could stay here for no, we got to win now because next year we're going to blow it all up if we don't.
We're going to blow this whole up.
Yeah, this shit, it's all over, dude.
Should I send my resume now? I should probably update it.
Say what?
I said I should update my resume just to send it to Miami now.
Right away, sure. I'm telling you.
When they voted.
Ooh, that's interesting. This is interesting.
Holland gone.
State your reason. Who would replace
Elaborate, please.
Holland's gone.
You know what? My critique of this defense this year. I'm not talking about even about like playing style or anything. I believe Brandon Jones should have played more. Cam Smith should have played.
Cam Smith's train over here.
Who else? Who was my 3rd one?
And Bonner.
What do you say?
Bonner. I just don't understand what it was that, and obviously I understand certain coaching situations where it might become personal because it happens at times with players. And I'm not saying that we do it, but unfortunately, in the course of a season, there are personal situations where you see a player maybe not giving it its all, and you bench them for a few games, but you explain it to them, you reach out to them, you tell them why you want to see improvement. The whole Cam Smith situation was baffling me because his athleticism alone we could have used. His knack for reading the game, and to me, he had and please don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing him to Ed Reed, but he had certain situations where you would see the Sean Taylor vision and the Ed Reed vision and the anticipation. So on that alone, I thought he was going to play, but his head is not right.
So
People keep saying that.
I disagree.
Vic,
I don't. The thing
why
is,
wasn't his head right?
I don't
Like,
even know. I don't know
I don't-
anything about behind the scenes or anything, so I can't comment on that. But I will say, and me and Courtney talked about it earlier. You know, obviously we weren't there to see what he was on the practice field.
Exactly.
You know, Fangio, obviously he's been there, done that. He knows what he likes. Maybe he did not like what he saw. But even if you didn't like what you saw, and maybe Fangio did sit down with him and say, hey, man, you need to focus. You need to get your head in the game. Maybe his head wasn't in it. Who knows? But what we do know is that when Xavier Howard goes down, Nick Needham's out half the season. Kader Kohu struggles. Eli Apple's there having fun. Whatever.
There's
You're having
no
all
way.
this. Yeah, and you don't go, you know what? We got to put him in. We got to see we drafted this guy.
Coverage over Cam Smith. I'll never forgive that.
No, and that's fair. But my point is like, how do you? I mean, I can understand as if you're first of all, you're the coach, but how do you not do it? Like,
Exactly.
if he's your second round pick, and it's not like Noah Igbenogany in that situation where Igbenogany couldn't get the field because we had guys who were playing better than him. There are guys that should have been sitting down, and you should have saw what you had in Cam Smith. You didn't do that.
No.
So,
Hey, you know what's even going to be worse? Cam Smith plays this year, and he outperformed people's expectations. We're always going to question what could have been in Cam Smith played for Fangio's defense if Cam Smith was playable.
Cam Smith, a man coverage corner, and I know that Vic didn't like that, and I think I heard some
Yeah,
reports.
because he wants to play zone. Yeah.
I heard reports that Cam Smith also was a little bit. He was instinctual instead of disciplined in like the scheme. It was more like this pure raw instinct. As a coach, though, you hone in on that. You refine that.
Yes.
You build on that. It's rare to have somebody that has the natural instinct, and to throw him on a bench on a scout team for a year. No, put him in the game. Get him wrapped with the first team. Build him, train him, coach him. Coach him.
And I'll tell you this firsthand.
Okay, let's put Eli Apple, the dumpster fire of all dumpster fires, out there. I think it was strictly because he didn't draft him. He didn't want to be in Miami. He doesn't like rookies historically. He doesn't like them, and he didn't want to invest. And all came down to you invest in him. And forever that, I hope that your days are filled with horrible shit every day.
But one thing that I want to add on to that, because from the coaching perspective, what you just said, though, you have a situation where coaches could either drive you away from the game, or you have coaches that can build up who you are and improve not only as a person, but as a player. And yeah, you have young players. You got young knuckleheads sometimes. That's part of the growth. But when you have a player, like you just said, that is instincts, you use that not to his disadvantage. You use it to his advantage, where he knows how to balance his instinct, where he knows how to have technique, where he knows how to have discipline, and he's not overplaying situations. He's not gambling when he shouldn't be. So those are things that, as a coach, you got to adapt. And this is part where maybe he's outdated, where he's not adaptable. And I believe old school coaches, and this is the number one, because I always use the comparison in basketball. Old school coaches in basketball here in the States, if you were above a certain height, you didn't even practice dribbling. You were down low. You were rebounding. You were playing back to the basket. That's why they have these European players coming, and you're 6'11" and can handle the basketball like a shooting guard and can shoot like a shooting guard. Why? Because you cannot put these players in a box. If what I'm missing is athleticism, if what I'm missing is your knack to use what you know and what you feel, and that's part of. Imagine telling Ed Reed and Sean Taylor, you just have to stick to my coverage. You can't freelance. You can't read the play. You can't jump the play. Like, part of being great is instinct. Every athlete that is great, every athlete that is elite has something you cannot teach. And people don't understand that. that's what separates elite athletes from great athletes, from good athletes. Yeah, their work ethic, yeah, but there's something you cannot teach. You can't teach certain visions. I can lay it out for you, but I can't teach you to anticipate those things, no matter how much you practice. There's just something innate in you. And I don't understand why coaches limit their players, because at the end of the day, you're limiting your team across the board. So that to me is one thing that's always bothered me. I understand off-field issues. Okay, perfect. That's fine. But give me an explanation as to why you couldn't play him. Give me a logical explanation that a logical human being can understand why he wasn't being played. And they never gave one. He just offered he needs his assignment and this and that.
Let's and Courtney, I'll get you the final word in just a second. Well, I will say this: we will know for sure whoever the next defensive coordinator is.
That's true.
If they come in and he's still not on that field,
exactly.
It's a him issue and whatever. Because I know a lot of people are looking at Fangio and going, "Oh, dude, what the hell? You're not in the same with the game." It's like making Lamar pipe. Yeah, exactly.
Imagine telling Michael Vick he can't flush the pocket.
Yeah, Courtney, go ahead. Final word on this.
I just think that it's poor coaching. I think it just now I could be wrong. He could go out, but I saw his tape. I saw him in the offseason. I've heard some rumors, and I think it just came down to Fangio being a poor coach when it came down to him. And a lot of coaches do it. It's also the outdated style. But I think if you have somebody with raw, pure talent, that needs to be held and appreciated. It's also why I hate my son's football coach. If you was wondering, that I have here because he is, he reminds me of Fangio. I realized it this season that's probably why I hate him so much. But I just think that you at that point just leave, because I think that he really did that kid a disservice. And I'm absolutely disappointed. I hope that retires.
All right. So the roster is skin deep, no depth, no disagreement there, Mr. Wingate. You can find Mr. Wingate on Joshua Wingate on the Clock Draft Show on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. He is usually host of the Beer and Sports podcast, but that is currently on pause until after the draft. And so at Monday nights, 8 o'clock, you will have On the Clock. And we're very excited. And just to let Josh know, I did get Caddy's cut-ups, so I'm excited about that. Watching some film now on some draft prospects. I mean, it's like Christmas for me. I'm just like going and I'm seeing and it's all just the one player, and it's like a magic. Caddy's cut-ups. If you guys find it, it's on Patreon. It's $5 a month and you get all this. It's like, oh shoot, it's a magic. All right. Say what?
What's Patreon?
What's Patreon?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was too until Tati told me, so I can't really make funny. I was going to make
a joke. Is that Patron? Tequila Patron? Or no?
That's right, yeah. So
you got to be all fancy and shit, Bobby. Patreon. What do you drink? I drink Patreon.
I drink Patreon.
I see. Yeah, with my pinky. Shots. Even the he gets it with a pinky up. Is that?
Well, what's cool is so you go there, whatever. Yeah, I do that. I do drink with. I don't know why. I don't know why I do that. I'll grab a can. Like who made fun of me the other day, or not the other day, but on our live show, Alex was Manny. Because I was straight. He goes, "Did you just put your pinky up?" I don't know why. I try to hold it down. I'm just a fancy lad. You know what I mean? I'm a fancy lad.
Just hold your pinky. Hold your pinky when you drink.
Yeah, Alex, I don't know what to do with my hand.
What do I do with my hands, guys?
Fancy pants.
Loud noises.
Loud noises. We're gonna get to random questions. But before we do that, I gotta ask you. I do want to touch on this, and I kind of filled Courtney in on this prior to the show.
Okay.
But so Courtney, I know you don't follow professional wrestling, but you could probably offer a perspective of kind of the subject line, kind of,
from the female point of view. Yes, this is.
I do, Michael. I'm very.
I think I'm not an expert in the subject line. Don't.
I'm not an expert. Not saying that. She's like, well, my daily job. No, Courtney, no.
Don't do it. Do it.
My day job. Michael is right. I am from nobility. Yes. They call me Sir Bobby. Sir Bobby.
Sir Robert Michaels.
That's right. Sir Robert Michaels of Hialeah, Florida. You know, like, yes, cheerio. You know, and then I married a, you know,
They bring your Oreos in a tray, like in a gold
that's
tray.
right. That's exactly in a little
dipping
silver
gold
thing.
throne.
And I get my milk, you know, yes. I don't. Somebody dips it for me. I don't dip it. You know.
Yeah, the milk. No, they bring the cow and they just milk the cow at the moment. Yeah, you're
On the opponent, she's milking the cow. That doesn't look good.
Road show is really growing on me.
Nobility. Yes, Tati. Yes. See, and that's why I'm no longer with the royalty. I married the Islander. And so I had, you know, I kind of downgraded my, now I'm, you know, where I am, man. But it is what it is.
You married a commoner.
And say that like you made her a queen, but like if you want to shit on, that's fine.
He went Prince Harry. Like, I love my wife. I'm leaving this.
That's exactly what it is. That's right. You know, Tati's like, what did I just come into? He married
the common peasant.
Oh, now you're not making it fun. I didn't mean that. Don't do that. She's like, he married the common peasant. No. Damn. You're supposed to get mad. Anyway, Vince McMahon. First off, Alex, before we get into it, brother, were you able to listen to Lepetard?
No, I wasn't able to listen to the clip, but I was reading more into the allegations and all that, and the whole. I mean, the fact that he resigned right away, and this has become this is something that we all envisioned and we kind of knew about Vince McMahon, the power move, and like he seemed like this power trip guy, even with the whole Triple H when he came back to the creative part and all that, and selling WWE, but the magnitude of situations that are coming out, the details in these situations, and the other ones that haven't probably been that we never heard of.
Is she reading? Are you reading it?
No,
I'm
just thinking of him and R. Kelly in a room together.
Oh God! So
it's definitely one of those like, can I top it stories? Like, oh, you should have seen what I did, bro.
Dude, every page. I didn't read every page of that lawsuit. I read most of it or half of it, but I like eventually had to stop. Every page it got worse.
Yeah,
and
worse. I feel bad for Linda McMahon. Like, I know they're not together anymore, but dude,
they're still married. They're still married, legally, but they don't live together. Yeah.
Of course not. Of course not. Because an entity, you got to separate that shit. Didn't he buy that from his father-in-law, or that was Vince McMahon's dad?
No, McMahon's father.
McMahon's father was one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he got that. He bought it from his dad, and then and that's the thing. Okay, so very quick. This is why it's kind of, you know, Alex and I grew up on WWF, WCW as kids. We had backyard wrestling, and somebody said this earlier today. I was listening to a podcast. I think it was Conrad Thompson with 83 Weeks of Eric Bischoff, which of course I'm a huge fan of Eric Bischoff because of WCW.
I love Bischoff. I thought Bischoff was awesome, man.
Yeah, and WC what he did, and they were talking about it, and you could tell like Bischoff was thinking about the kids, you know, his grandchildren and everything. Like, he's like, man, think about that. His, you know, but Conrad was like, you know, what's crazy and this goes for like guys like me and Alex, Courtney obviously wasn't following it, but for us, McMahon was Walt Disney, you know, to us, because he was like, you know, he created that thing. You know, we sat down every night and you watched Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and you know, he made these characters, and so, and then you go these years later, and there was stories throughout the years,
and some of the storylines now start making sense. The way he would write it, that he would always be the one handling the young women and doing this and
Tori
that.
Wilson, Sable, Trish Stratus.
Remember that? Yep.
So, you know, but you know, there was kind of hints of this because obviously he resigned the first time, and then he was like, "Oh wait, no wait, I'm coming back."
Yeah.
And then TKO, which is crazy. So TKO is now the new Endeavor, and Ari Emanuel purchased WWE.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he
was on the board.
He was the executive chairman. You know, and he was like, "Oh, I remember Ari in the press conference, like, I wouldn't do this without McMahon. He had to be a part of the deal." But they knew something was coming, and they kind of prepped for this, because as soon as this allegations came out, and I'm sure they did not think it was this bad, you know, but as soon as it came out, he was like, "I got to resign. I'm resigning."
And the thing is, once you have, it's incredible how it's incredible how humanity is. You can hear about it, you can, you know, talk about it, but until you see, for example, actual footage or actual physical copies of what is actually said, is the magnitude of, and it's funny because it resonates with, I remember always my dad telling me when I was younger, is like, I like the artist, I don't want to meet the man. because
be
people
careful
have
meeting
this
your
image.
heroes is the saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it's funny. Yeah, I translated it from Spanish to English. How he would tell me in Spanish, because it's true. We paint this image of this person, and it's true. Whenever you give a person power, they will show you who they are. And these people in power,
That's
I
what
can't even
this is
fathom
really
it
about.
myself, because
Yeah.
as a person of power and having a daughter or my son, it doesn't matter. I can't fathom living with myself where I'm using my power over someone, especially in a sexual nature, where you're exploiting a human being sexually. Like that to me is inconceivable. Like, how can you live with yourself? Because you need to have a moral
Well,
of righteous.
what's messed up here is and I'll go it over what CNN are having it for. I couldn't find the whatever article it originally was from, but I'll read this so people kind of get caught up a little bit. I won't go over the details too much,
That's
but
true.
um
It's a big one. I think it's
yeah.
a
Well,
massive
now
move.
look,
That's a great move.
what happened right before Vince McMahon get kicked out was The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He buys he owns the name now, and he's now a board member of TKO, which
That's
is
crazy, man.
huge. So somebody said it was Lepetard said they asked him, or Stu Gatz asked Lepetard, do you think The Rock is going to be the Papa John's? Shaquille O'Neal to the Papa John's.
It could be.
And
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
Kind of save face. But anyway, it's still ongoing. Supposedly the girl, and I won't, even though her name is out there, I'm going to mention it. But supposedly she was taking care of her parents. Her parents passed away. She got a job with WWE. I think he offered her a job as an assistant, and then kind of took advantage of that, and was giving her money and whatever, and for exchanging for favors, and from my from reading, was and then trafficking her. That's the effed up thing. That's the effed up thing. Basically saying, hey, and which everybody. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see the report on Brock Lesnar, Alex? He's talking away from this stop for a second. But supposedly their lawsuit names a former UFC champion and WWE superstar champion. They were trying to work out a deal with this person, and McMahon offered her services to him in order to get it. So he called her, and she said, I don't want to do that. He said, no, don't worry. He really whatever. So and ends up being Brock Lesnar, who is one of the major guys of major superstars, not in just professional wrestling, but in professional sports. Yeah, you have money, you have power. And, so now Lesnar's out. That dude's gone. I don't think he's ever coming back. Because to me, it's like, and I'm not going to say a lot of stuff that was in there, but it was so stupid. And then Courtney said it earlier, because I was asking, she's like, the only thing I know about is the poop in the hair thing, that's not what Cersei said. Knowledge is no. What did she say? Power is power, something like that. She was part of the deal. Yes, she was a part of the deal. McMahon, in order for him to resign, minus the money, minus everything else, she said he said in order for him to sign the deal, he wants to be with you, and he gave her. Lesnar, he gave Lesnar her number. Lesnar texted her, said, send me a video or something like that. It sent a video, and then they were supposed to meet, but then Lesnar got snowed in or something and it never happened. Just a lot of effed up, disgusting things. Let me read CNN very quick. Vince McMahon has resigned from his role as executive chairman of TKO, the parent company of WWE, following disturbing allegations of sexual assault, trafficking, and physical abuse. The allegations came to light in a lawsuit filed by a former WWE staffer, I'm not going to say the name, who worked at the headquarters of the wrestling behemoth McMahon had founded. McMahon has denied the allegations. He said he's prepared to defend himself in court, but in a statement Friday, he said that he had resigned. This is him, quote unquote, out of respect for the WWE universe, the extraordinary TKO business, and its board members, shareholders, partners, and constituents, and all employees and superstars who helped make the WWE into the global leader it is today, I have decided to resign from my executive chairmanship and TKO board of directors effective immediately. Reports are that McMahon has paid out multiple settlements to multiple women while serving as WWE CEO and chairman. These reports have been circulating since at least 2022. The lawsuit filed by the accuser sheds new light on the extent of his misconduct. In the lawsuit, the accuser alleged McMahon dangled a job offer at WWE and then later promotions in exchange for sex. Grant's lawsuit also alleges that McMahon trafficked her and other men inside the company, including John Leonidas, who worked in the company's talent relations department, and also a defendant in the suit. McMahon engaged in acts of extreme cruelty and degradation toward the defendant during
degradation.
Thank you, sir. During her time at WWE. Okay, so John Leonidas is the stepfather of Nikki and Brie Bella. He is brother of Road Animal. Yeah, I heard he cheated on his wife. Yeah. Most definitely, if you watch some of those interviews, none of this is surprising me, but deplorable regardless. Well, if you go back, the whole Dark Side of the Ring series will open here. Yeah, no, even if you're not a wrestling fan or you're just familiar with it, and I recommend this for both of you, if you're really into a good show, the documentary's out, Dark Side of the Ring, even guys you don't know, it's on Hulu right now. It's supposed to be Vice, I think, is the original contributor. Great program, but it tells you the dark side of the business of wrestling and just stories. But anyway, I mean, John Leonidas, one of the execs, everybody knows him if you follow it. Road Animal was his brother. He's passed away now. You know, stepfather to the Bellas or the Garcias. So they're married. He's married to their mother. He was the father-in-law. He is the father-in-law of Bryan Danielson. Just crazy stuff. Like, I feel bad for his wife. Like, for her to read that report on her husband. You think of Linda. You do think of their families. You think of her, that girl. That girl, her parents passed away, and he took advantage of that. Like, it wasn't just like, then, you know, people, oh, but, you know, she's only coming out because of this and whatever. That doesn't freaking matter, dude.
Doesn't matter.
It wasn't a mistress thing. This is trafficking, you know? So, like, what I want to say is because I want to preference this, because McMahon is somebody who was a part of our childhood in regards of he put on our screen the stories that we would watch as kids, and you're sitting there and you're into it and you're screaming, you're going crazy. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, whatever, all these guys, The Undertaker, that was his creation that he put up that we watched growing up. And you now, you know, you're like, holy crap. This guy's a fucking monster.
You know what was like that? It's like Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
You had the perfect African-American father leading, number one in ratings, one of the best creative minds, can relate. The show was relatable to everyday African-American life. And it showed a different view than the social norm.
Yep.
And then years later, you find out that it was all a lie in reality. So your childhood hero was using his fame, his power for his dark side, which every human being has a dark side. But just because, for example, and it really bothers me, like, oh, why didn't you say this before? Or, oh, it happened so many years ago.
No, I don't buy that shit.
Matter. Even if it happened 30 years ago, the fact that it happened is like, if a tree falls in the forest, does anybody hear it? No, it still fucking fell though. Like, it's on the ground.
I'm not down with that. No.
It really bothers me when people, people just have to let certain things go. No, you don't let those certain things go, because now, don't get me wrong, are people going to take advantage? And now in situations like this, that's why I've always been a big believer in not settling. If you know you're not wrong, if you didn't do anything wrong, don't settle. You fight it until the very end. But like, for example, like the Me Too movement, are there some people that took advantage of that and elongated their career or got a career? Absolutely. Those are the people that have a problem with, like, why are you talking about it now? Because you took advantage of it. You made a career out of it. You weren't saying shit then. Now you're going to say shit? No, the people that actually suffered are the ones that have to talk. Those are the ones that have to speak up. So I don't care how long time, how many years have passed by. When a person does an act like this, it still needs to come out. And it tends to come out later in their life. If you notice, a lot of these situations always tend out to come out in part of the full circle of their life, which is the epitome of, we always tell people, the truth will always come out. It might not come out in a week. It might not come out in a year. It'll come out in 10 years, but the truth will always see the light of day. And it's when you pass too. And this is the legacy you're leaving for your kids, for your grandchildren. Like, your daughter was part of the company. Your wife was part of the company. Your son.
Ari Emanuel, who owns TKO, who's now in charge of everything, his daughter worked at WWE. And they were saying, do you think he would have allowed his daughter to work at WWE if he had any knowledge that McMahon was doing? Man. You know what I mean? It's like, so look, that's the thing. Like, so what I was gonna say was how big this guy was, or what he had, how much he had to do with what we were into growing up. And I wouldn't say he's childhood hero, you know what I mean? But what he was able to do, he created most of our childhood heroes, so he was a part of that. So you respected him, and you thought highly of him. To me, and I agree with this, I think Dan Lapetard said this, I think Conrad Thompson said it, and I absolutely agree. He should be Chris Benoit. Benoit's erased from WWE. Completely. And Chris Benoit, for Courtney, who's maybe not familiar, he was a famous professional wrestler. Yeah. WrestleMania 20, won the world title. One of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. Murder-suicide. Killed his wife, killed his son, hung himself.
Wow.
And they erased him.
How he killed his wife and how he killed his son.
Yeah.
That's the part.
It's on Dark Side of the Ring. There's a 2-episode special on that. But beloved, they erased him. You can look for his stuff and watch it. Obviously, I think there's some stuff still on. You can look up for his matches, but there's no mention. He's not a part of the world title history, whatever. They need to do that to McMahon.
But you know what's crazy, Bobby? When it happened with Chris Benoit, you don't notice that at the moment, but when you would see his eyes, when you see was his demeanor, you can kind of now it will make sense that if anybody would do that, it was someone like him, because he looked off at times. Like, even his stare, like, he looked off. And I'm not talking about people might like, oh, Mankind. Mankind is unhealthy, this and that. Have you ever heard anything about Mankind?
No, Mick Foley is
nothing.
No, but Mick Benoit was, and just his reaction to the loss of Eddie Guerrero, when Eddie Guerrero died of the heart attack. And I was just talking about, I think I was talking to my dad about that recently. But we won't go off topic very quick. I know Courtney's not familiar too much. I know she's familiar a little bit with the case just because of what she's heard.
No,
but
I grew up on WWF. My brother was big into it, and so therefore, like, I had a huge crush on Randy Orton.
Of course, like every other woman in the world. Every other woman in the world. Yeah.
Randy Orton, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, so I grew up on it, but like I wasn't.
Well, when you would buy the ice cream of the wrestlers, you would just let it melt, and you're just staring at Randy Orton on the ice cream. Do you know what ice creams I'm talking about, by the way, Courtney?
Yeah, don't move. Well, continue. I'll be right back.
Okay, she's gonna bring an ice cream for them.
She is, yeah. So, but no, and I want to get her perspective on that, because what you were just bringing up with, because I talked to Tati recently about it, and like, I don't believe in that whole, it happened 10 years ago, why are you talking about it now?
No.
Unless you're in those shoes, you have no right to talk.
First of all, people need time. It's time of grief. First of all, shame,
process,
exactly.
Victimized, whatever. And guess what? It wasn't 10 years ago. It was 2 years ago. This what happened. This ended. Okay, go for it. What do we got?
My mom dropped these off at my house for my kids recently.
Let's see if we could guess it. Lex Luger.
Let me see.
Hulk Hogan. Oh, that's my dude. I'm a Hulk Hogan guy, man. Hollywood Hogan was my dude. Mick Foley. There he is. Mankind.
Where's that cat? Can't see from here. Oh my God.
Dude, I don't know who that is.
No idea. But he's like bald. I don't know.
That might have been that's not a wrestler. That was a sex toy. That's British Bulldog. British Bulldog. Yeah. Wow. You see how I didn't have to look at that. Let's see. This is kind of fun. Okay, let's go.
Awesome.
Sting. That's easy. Ahmad Johnson. Ron Simmons hates him. I know that. Ken Shamrock. I'm on a roll, Alex.
You're on a roll, bro.
Let's see. Pat Patterson? What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's the old. It is. I think it is.
It has to be Pat Patterson, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's Terry. That was Mankind's best friend.
No, that's not Terry Funk. That's not Terry.
That's
Funk.
not Terry Funk.
No, I know. I knew that's what you. I don't think that's Terry Funk, dude.
I don't know. It says 1997. I have no idea who's. Oh, my cat's here. Hold on. What do we got? Here's my boy.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Steve Austin.
Yeah. That was before Stone Cold. I think that was he was.
That's Big Show. Is that Big Show?
Yeah, I think that's the Big Show, right? Oh no, Disciples of the account. Brian Adams, maybe Brian Adams.
Apocalypse. I don't know.
I think that is. Oh shit.
Honky Tonk Man.
Tonk Man. That was the other one.
Oh, Bob. No, that's Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund.
He looked like an old William Regal.
Yeah, it's Bob Backlund.
He's missing his head, but
that's
the Headbangers.
Roddy Piper.
No, Headbangers.
Headbangers. Oh,
yeah, that's not Piper. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
Ultimate Warrior.
Oof. That's my son's favorite wrestler. It's funny. He never saw him wrestle.
Oh, that is that's Rikishi. But that was before Rikishi was Rikishi. That's the Usos' dad.
I got another hick-looking dude.
Oh. Big
Bobby?
John's. No, fuck you. That's sorry. Big John stuff.
I don't know.
That's a great Robert Michaels.
Dick. China,
man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P.
We got
Undertaker.
That's a weird looking Undertaker, bro.
These are like authentic from like when me and my brother were kids.
Yeah. Gold Dust. That's a dark Gold Dust, though.
Wow.
Listen.
That's blackface Gold Dust.
Ron Simmons. That's Ron Simmons.
Simmons.
Doink the Clown is worth like $5,000. Oh, wow.
I don't know. Should I start selling these on eBay?
Owen Hart.
Oh man, look! Oh my, that face is off though. Jesus, that's crazy, man. You just see because of the leotard, the little one.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
Those fast. Glasses is easy to catch.
Hold on, who's this again?
Man, we had such cool wrestling characters before.
Right?
Jesus
let me see his,
Christ,
see his clothes.
Let me see his face.
What's his pants?
Who is that?
That's that's Triple H. No, that's Triple H.
Before.
Yeah, that's Hunter Hearst Helmsley before he was officially.
I think that there's like heads and stuff, but
okay. But
these are guys. These are OGs. They're not in mint condition, but if I can sell them, let me know.
Yeah, there you go.
You have a basket full of old WWF.
But what was it? I want to
Paul Esquire.
Craig, I love the NWO, the best fashion ever. Yes, sir. The NWO, Hollywood Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and then Sting. Before I went nuts, but that original NWO, the NWO to me is the greatest. That's WCW. That is the greatest faction, bigger than DX, bigger than those other guys. To me, NWO was legit. New World Order. So I'm
$1,000. Listen, they're not in mint condition, but I'll
take them. You got go to the pawn shop. Go to.
Is that how you sell those, or do you sell them
on
on
Stars?
You probably put them on eBay. See if somebody would jump at them.
I'm just gonna put $50 for this lot and see.
Yeah. So anyway, I think to me again, just the final point on McMahon. That's what I think he needs to be erased from history. I don't think he needs it. And what's crazy? Like he said, his grandfather, his father, he bought the business from his dad, and then he had it. He had his son and his daughter who were involved, and then he was supposed to go on through his grandchildren. No, for the first time ever, there's no McMahon in WWE. I guess the closest thing would be
it's like Disney World.
The closest thing would be Triple H, who's married to Stephanie.
Yeah,
but he's not a McMahon.
Why did Shane McMahon leave the company? Do you think it's some internal problems as well with his dad?
He wanted to go. He wanted to get out of his dad's wing, but he didn't get what I think there was something kind of tug of war between him and Stephanie. So he went to go do his own thing, and Stephanie stuck behind. And then Stephanie became co-CEO after McMahon first resigned. And then when McMahon forced his way back in, which he did, he forced his way back in. Stephanie ended up leaving to go back in, and now she's at home with her kids and all that.
My thing is, I don't know. Stephanie had to know what was going on, bro. Like, there's no way.
Here's the thing. First off, I don't know about I don't know about Stephanie, and that maybe that maybe when she found out, that's why she resigned. She's, I'm not going to be in the same company with
There's
my father.
no way you
But-
don't know your dad's doing that.
No, I wouldn't say your father. I would think, you think about guys. I don't want to throw names out there, but I think there's guys in that company that when the other shoe drops, if as this longer continues, other guys are going to come out in that company because it happened at WWE. They locked her in an office, Leonidas McMahon, and they had their way, whatever the hell. People knew. There's other people that knew about this that didn't do a fucking thing, and those are the guys that are going to get it.
I think Stephanie had to. Now I'm not saying she was in on it, but there's no way because she was a younger person. She was with Triple H already. Also, like you talk, that locker room talks. Like those are things that are always behind closed doors, but because there's no social media and all that.
Well, McMahon said, and Courtney, I'll let you go right after. But McMahon
sleeping around on the mom, but I don't think she knew the extent. Like she maybe just knew, like, yeah, my dad hooks up with these young interns, but just thinking your dad's a pig, not that your dad is this. Because I don't think there's any way that like her and her mom would have kept quiet. I think she probably knew my dad's a pig, but
yeah, exactly. She probably knew that because the parents were lived in different houses. I think when the news came out, what exactly was happening, because I'm sure they were kind of aware. So maybe he sat down with his family and said, "Hey, this is what's up." I think that's when she ended up stepping back, because there was a time where she went away when he was still there. She went away. He ended up resigning. She came back as the CEO to be in charge with Triple H. When he forced his way back in, because he had majority shares, he forced his way back in. She ended up leaving right again. So to me, it sounds to me like she said, "You know what? I'm not going to be a part of you. I can't be a part of this." She ended up leaving. Do I think maybe right? Do I think maybe she knew that? Oh, my dad has mistresses and he fucks around on my mom, whatever. Sorry, of course, but I don't think to that extent, because there's difference between a mistress and you're a sex trafficker, and that's what McMahon was. Let's just be real. The dude was a sex trafficker. When you're offering her that girl to Brock Lesnar or whoever to say, "Hey, if you sign a deal, man, you could get this."
Of course.
You're a pimp. You're that's or whatever.
Absolutely.
You deserve jail. You never know. But anyway, it's just a messed up situation. It really is. I think more guys will get eventually caught up, and I think Amari Emanuel is going to clear house, because I've heard that I was reading that a lot of guys close to McMahon are scared right now, because McMahon said in that part that I read about the lawsuit, McMahon said that to her via text, saying how, I've shown the guys, I showed the lighting crew, I showed some of the talent, your pictures and videos, and they're going blah blah. So guys knew what was happening. It's just who was going to get revealed as such.
Who thought like Epstein, like that whole thing and everything involved? Like there's gonna be there's records. I'm sure. This
is not the end. McMahon leaving is not the end. Other things are going to go down. And I will say this in regards to WWE, for someone who still follows it, especially because my kids watch it, and I watch it with them, and I'm loving it now. It's wrestling is getting better now. It's not like, it was flatlined. It's starting to get a lot more entertainment now. It's a lot more fun ever since Triple H took over. The stories, everything's getting better. But this is a dark cloud over that. And it's going to stay there until they completely wipe out whoever was involved. Yeah. Absolutely, Kevin, I agree with you. Some bigger names will come out that will probably surprise us. Craig, yes, rumor is Steph had a relationship with Savage. That's been a rumor that's been around for years. I will say the thing is she fooled around with Triple H while he was still with China Johnny Lawler, which is one of the toys that Courtney has in her box. All right. We're at 2 hours. I wouldn't say it's crumbling down. Maybe I just think that the old is getting out and the new's going to come, because what I believe TKO or Endeavor is doing great with what they're doing, but they're going to clean out all the negative.
Well, and that's why they bring back The Rock. And that's a power move. That's a smart PR move. Yes.
He's going to be the face, but man's no longer the face.
Yeah.
The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, Paul Levesque, Triple H, those guys are the face right now. Which is crazy thinking about those two guys who are headlining pay-per-view wrestling and how they run the company.
Bring back Stone Cold.
That's right. That's the missing piece. That's the missing piece.
The Trinity. All right. Let's do some random questions.
Let's go.
And we'll close this out.
We're not talking heat, okay?
I was going to mention a few things, but I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
So
tune in tomorrow.
Kevin, tune in tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern for Goon Squad. All three of us And
Tomorrow
I believe
night. Just say later on today. It's already
later
12 over here.
well, it's
Eastern
11:04
time.
for me. 11:04 for me. But we'll have it's a whole episode on the Heat. So we'll talk about it all. But anyway, all right. Let's see.
Shoot away. Court, have you done these with us or no? This is your first time?
My first time.
Oh, great.
Oh, I'm going to start with her.
Boom. You have to,
All
man.
right.
Guest of honor.
It's my first time.
I think she did it once. I think she was on our show once.
I trolled you in the comments with my response.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
true.
right.
So it's a first on-air response.
Favorite scent, and I said Josh Allen.
That's true.
Okay. I'm going to lighten them. I'm going to lighten the mood.
Okay.
Boom.
Courtney, do you think aliens exist?
Yes.
Interesting.
Area, 51?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's there. I think that if we exist on Earth, I think it's crazy to think that other planets don't have existing beings. I think it's just a logical assumption to make. Do I think that people are getting like taken off in like weird probes and stuff? No. But I think that they exist, and I think that beings and organisms on other planets definitely, for sure. I don't think it's crazy to think that they don't.
Alex?
Oh, you know me, man. I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid. So it's to me, it's incredible. Like you just mentioned.
I remember you used to tell me when we were growing up, I just want to get probed just one time. Dry probe.
Look, I've always been amazed by there has to be life outside of what we know.
100%.
Because
100%.
we are in our galaxy, we are in our solar system, which is a small piece in our galaxy, and there's other galaxies in the universe. There's no way there is no life out there.
Right.
And I do believe there's part of our technological advances like Wi-Fi. What is Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi is connections you don't see. Like the perfect motherboard is a human body. Like there's has to be something else out there. Like it's impossible to think that. We don't even know the depths of our own Earth.
Mhm.
Like there's things that we don't know that we haven't discovered. So for people to say it, I believe it's very egotistical to say that. Honestly, very idiotic as well. Like, oh, we're the only life form. Okay, buddy. Okay, yeah, sure. We're the only ones. Good job. Like,
Stupid.
yeah. We may be the last. That's true.
We gotta
may be the last.
we
And
gotta
on this
have
earth,
a doll and Tati show. We gotta get
yes, I think it'll be awesome.
Mondays at 7:30, Tati. I offered it.
Perfect.
I think it would be great. I think it would be a good show. Anyway, okay. Question number 2.
Yes.
And we'll roll with Alex on this, and then
Okay.
Courtney will follow up. But I think this one's a good one.
Okay.
What are some red flags to watch out for in daily life?
Red flags to watch out in daily life, like any situation, any part of your daily
Sure,
life.
yeah. What do you look out for? Like in a person, probably. What are red flags that you go, no, dude, that's not a.
I'm a big believer in people that talk a lot. When you talk a lot and you're doing something, you're either hiding, you're nervous, or if you're excessively communicating something, there's something behind it. Because a person that is confident and is actually being truthful is not over communicative about something that's small. That's just in a small detail. Definitely negative people, like people that find something wrong or treat people the wrong way or speak to people the wrong way. They're going to speak to everybody that way. I don't like crowds. I'm a big non-crowd guy, so I try to stay away from crowds. No, but Tati, you're different. You're not. You're not.
I didn't say nothing. I looked away.
You're Tati. Yeah.
And I talk a lot. He's looking right at me.
No.
This is so true. Like it never ends. Like,
but that's in the genes. That's genetics. That's for Tati's genetics. It comes from above. And I love it, Vito.
All right, here you go. Father. Oh, okay. Father.
No, but it's true. Like it's just the way they express things. But Tati doesn't do it because she's lying about something. Like that's just the way she expressed something. I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
thinking in
that's
regards to people like, especially people that but me on a personal level, I hate people that start small talk. Like you're in the middle of a line in Publix and they start talking to you, they turn around and they have a whole conversation and they tell you about your day. It's like, dude, you don't even fucking know me, bro. Like, what are you telling me about? Like, I don't mind us one little side comment. You do that? You do that, Court? You just talking to random people?
Have you met me?
Jesus Christ. I thought it was because it was us here. I'm like, God damn.
I
Like,
won't.
It's when I'm walking to work and I see somebody coming at the same time I do from the other side and they're going to go to the elevator,
just walk
I'll go
away.
take the stairs. I take the stairs.
Yeah.
Just
I don't
to
want to talk
avoid,
to you, bro.
I will go 4 to 5 flights of stairs
and die. I'd rather die
than
Men
have small talk.
Me and little old men. Oh my god, the small talk that we generate with each other.
Those little old men
I
always
get
have
that.
grandkids and all that.
He goes, honey, a young woman was talking to me today.
Yeah.
It came alive for the first time in 10 years.
What?
It jumped. It fluttered. What? Grandpa, go back to bed. You don't believe me.
Yeah.
She
Soup just
believes
dripping. Soup just dripping here and Shore falling on his face.
Sorry, that a nice person.
She's
But
just giving
aside from that,
she's nice. She small talks to the old man, flirts with him, get him all excited, and leaves away.
You're just trying to find one that's rich and will leave you everything.
Yeah, the closer to death, the better.
That's that. I was gonna say she's scouting. Let's be real. She's not small talk. She's like, so what's in your bank account? No, okay, bye. No, I'm just playing. Courtney, same question. What are red flags you look for someone, or in just the everyday life?
I am Alex's red flag, so that's cool.
He just expressed a lot of people. He
basically was just like, how can I describe Courtney without telling her? I think people who are inconsistent in that how they present themselves, that like every conversation that they have with somebody, they're
a different person.
They're a different person, or their story has changed to adapt to each audience. I think that that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Tati, this is huge. I hate people that are fake. Fake nice is what I call it.
Well, I think even that right there, what Corey was just saying was fake. That's what I started thinking of.
Yeah.
Because you change your story.
Well, and those people, it always comes out in the end. Like nobody catches on right away because you're trying to appease too many people. But once you meet all those people, I also a big red flag to me is Bills fans. That's just
for sure.
That's just an abort mission.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. What a big fucking red flag to me is if you ride a bicycle at rush hour on a road with no shoulder.
You're just an asshole.
You're
just an asshole at that point, bro.
Hour, I can't walk. Like I can't keep driving behind. Now I have to stop and go like 3 miles an hour because you're the asshole who knows it's rush hour. There's no shoulder here, and I can't go around you yet. And I don't like that.
You took it off. I'll put it.
Well, on that note, Vic Fangio supporters and red flag.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, double crossers, backstabbers. I think I don't mind people who talk too much because I am one, and I do have social anxiety. So thank you for pushing that on onto me.
But Courtney, I want people that over laugh.
Oh,
like those people. Yes.
It wasn't that funny.
Oh.
No, so a fun fact is like I'm horrible on dates because I have like my social anxiety is just, and I said it on X the other day, like I word vomit. Like I can go on a date with you. I went on one date, right? We had a 5-hour date. It was supposed to be drinks. It ended up dinner, 5 hour. I couldn't tell you a single fucking thing that we talked about because I was just like overly word vomiting because I was nervous. And
because you were nervous. Yeah.
So I don't think it's a red flag. I think that sometimes that's just like a coping mechanism. Some people get really quiet.
Oh, yeah.
I just
that part is 100% true. That's true. Yeah.
The problem is, like, I'll start talking to you, then I loop the bartender in, and next thing I know, like, me and half the bar are now best friends. And
Exactly. I just throw my challenge flag all over the place.
people are like, "You're such a social butterfly." I'm like, "No, I'm just so nervous that I black out." I don't need liquor. I just black out. I'm like, friends. I think I don't know if there's any other like daily life red flags, like or people who overly want to tell me about their like diet and exercise routine.
Oh yes.
You know what I mean? Like
what you should be doing.
Yeah. Like, I don't need to spend 25 minutes hearing about like your protein powder and how you just have like chicken and rice. I get it. I'm eating a cheeseburger. I get it.
Yeah. Court, you're doing it all wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. It's like great.
So
Thanks, man.
How much protein have you eaten today? Like, what are your macros? I don't.
All right. Let's go with number 3 here. I'm gonna start with Courtney, and this is not gonna sound good, but it's not what it's gonna sound like.
Oh man, you can't preface something like that.
Well, I've read
just say it. Just say it.
What old person things do you do? Because she just said she talked.
Obviously, talk to strangers. I like to be in bed by 9. I fucking love a jigsaw puzzle. Fucking love a jigsaw. Like, you give me like a 500 to 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. I went on a girls trip, and you know the girls were all like pre-gaming. I was sitting down because I found a puzzle in the Airbnb, and I finished that sucker. I would thrive in a retirement community.
I've said that. I don't understand old people not liking it. Every time somebody goes, "Oh, you're gonna take me out, put me in a retirement home?" Are you kidding me?
So
free service, you know, if you get a cold, there's a nurse right outside the room. You got your own little apartment. My great grandma's apartment was the coolest thing. You got people playing bingo in another room. You got your own apartment. You got 2 bed. You got a bed. Oh, come on, dude. I don't get it.
Too is bingo. In high school, I used to go with my grandmother every Tuesday to bingo. Like, I'm like a 17-year-old high schooler. I'm like, I'm busy on Tuesday because I went to bingo. We had little good luck trolls. I love bingo. The other thing I do is I groan when I stand and sit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I tell my kids, well, when I was your age.
Yep.
All the time. So those are. Think about that next time I post up their strap. I'm probably sitting here doing jigsaw puzzle.
I don't fall. Shut the hell up. I don't fall.
He needs a life alert. We need to make a life alert. That should be one of our sponsors.
First of all, let me answer that because Tati says I'm not answering. I did answer the first one. I did not end up in the second one because I'm trying to save time, but I will do this third one. What old people thing did I think? What old people things did I do? I'm slow to get up off the floor. If I'm picking something up off the floor, I make noises when I get up. And I do have a 50-year-old hip. My hip is effed up. You know, I have arthritis in my hip. That's where I had the labrum tear. Like the guy told me, he's like, "You're a 30-year-old with a 50-year-old hip." I'm like, "Well, thanks for that."
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, all right. When Tati says, because when I'm looking at something and I'll look over my glasses, you know. So I'm like,
that's definitely an old person. Are the glasses like by here in the tip of your nose like that?
Yeah. Like I'll be really good at something, and also Tati, I look up and she's, you know, but yeah. So
and you also do one of these like.
Oh yeah, the road rage. Yeah, I get mad at people.
Yeah.
Well, that's only a old person. That's normal.
Yeah. You know, I remember my boss came with me to go to lunch at the mall to pick up lunch, and we were in the car, and I like went off at somebody as a redneck skid mark cousin effing get out, you know, and she's like,
"God damn!"
Whoa! She was like, "What is this?"
HR, hello, yeah, I'm here.
Well, she can't. We were outside of work, you know. She's like, "I thought I was bad." I was like, "Nope," you know.
Nope.
Bingo's fun, man. Bingo's fun. Alex, what old people things do you do?
Everything, bro. Like, I was born old. Like, I like to be home. I like to chill. I love being alone. I am grumpy at times. I'm grumpy a lot of times.
No fucking doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, I love being alone. I have no problem being alone.
I love it. Yeah, I love sitting. Alex has a list.
Annoy me. Oh yeah, for sure, man. People annoy the shit out of me. Like around, like, if I'm doing something and you're just continuously talking to me or like trying to deviate me and this and that, I'm like, bro, just leave me alone. I'm doing something. Like I'm focused. I love coffee in the morning. Cuban coffee in the morning. I can't live without it. So what other I'm very I don't think that's an old person thing, but I still like I have to have a notebook. I don't put things on my phone. I don't put notes on my phone and all that. I actually write my notes, like my appointments and all that with my clients. I have everything manually on a little notebook. Like my schedule is still a copy, like paper and pen. Yes, just like that. And I live from it. I'm
That was
tech
one.
savvy. I'm
Here's
tech
two.
savvy. There's two. See?
Hold on. There's 3.
Yeah.
And I got another one right under there. So.
I'm very methodical with my routine. It's funny because I've always been a free spirit, and Bobby can attest to this. I've always been a free spirit. I don't like the planning of a day-to-day life. Obviously, you have plan, you have goals. I don't live my life on a plan, but I'm very methodical with what I'm doing. I do it right. Like I take my time with what I'm doing something. So I don't know if that's an old person's thing of experience or just the way I was brought up to do things right the first time. So I feel like that's a very like I'm very picky with shit. Like I've noticed that. Not in a bad way or like I'm not
I'm set in my
obnoxious.
ways, really. Like,
Yes,
I
yes.
like it's hard for me to like if you
Yeah.
tell me, oh, let's do this, do something like why are we gonna do that? We do it this way. Why are we gonna do something like I'm very set in my ways. I'm listen. That's one of my things. I don't like people that can't listen. Like if we could talk and have a conversation, why
Exactly.
disagree, whatever.
Exactly.
I'm down with that. But yeah, I'm set in my ways.
Habit too. Like
Say what?
I'm a creature of habit. Like
Yeah.
like I don't like to deviate from what I'm doing. Like I go to the
Yeah.
restaurant, I know what I'm gonna order. I'm gonna order the same thing. I'm not gonna try something new. This is what I like. And people know, like they're like, all right, we're going here. This is what Courtney's gonna get. Oh, we know what she's gonna buy. Like, no, this is what I like.
That's like a safe zone. That's a safe zone. But now if you go to a new place, you'll try something new. Or no?
What? No, because I did. I did do that one time.
You don't expand your horizons.
No,
You don't do that.
If I go to a new place, Tati already knows. If I go to a new place, I am going to look for 2 or 3 things, right? Before I have to eventually decide. But it's steak, chicken wings, or chicken tenders or something.
God, that's so boring, man. You can't be like that. I can't take you to a taco place and you order chicken tenders.
I'm not going to taco place. I wouldn't go to a taco place.
Why not, man?
Because I don't like tacos unless it's Taco Bell.
What?
Nope. No, I don't like.
God, man.
Nope.
This is crazy to me, bro.
No, I go to Tati. I know she's watching. What's that steak? I don't know why I'm yelling. She's right here. What's the steak I eat at the Mexican place when we go to the Mexican restaurant? What is the place? What's that steak I like from the Mexican restaurant? That's not it. It's not carne asada.
Carne asada is awesome, bro.
But it's not. That's not what it is. Maybe that is, but no, maybe I don't know.
Is it little strip meats?
Ale House. I'm getting the chicken wings or the. Oh, carne asada.
Guisada. Okay, I got you.
Carne asada. So yeah, so that's what I would eat. But I'm not going to have tacos. I don't like it. I don't like Mexican food. I like Cuban food. Puerto Rican food, obviously, but no, not.
You are a child, not an old man. You're like a 5-year-old.
And see, it's true. That's actually true. When it comes to food, yeah.
To both of you.
Wrong.
Whatever.
My milk won't eat shredded chicken because he says that when you shred a chicken, it changes the taste. So, like, if I'm making shredded chicken,
that's true.
But I do. If Tati would put it in there, when I go to Red Lobster, I get crab. I'll eat a crab. I never ate crab before. I ate crab. We got crab dip. She's the one who got the
crab
chicken
dip is awesome, bro. Crab dip is
crab
amazing.
Dip.
Did you like it?
I will try other things. Yeah, it was good. It was a fancy place that we went to. We tried something different. It did. But I do have my preference. I'm not going to go to a taco place because I don't like that. I don't like Mexican food. I don't like this. I don't like it. I just don't. I never tried Indian, but I don't know if I really would want to do that.
There's some things that you would like
to because Tati wants to do that. She wants to, so eventually I'll have to try it. But it's like,
Well, but
you
see, that's one thing that I always like to tell my son and my daughters. Like,
I don't like
say you
anything
don't
or
like
anyone. It's just what it is, not personal.
Try
it.
it.
He's just old. Try it, bro. With food, I always tell my kids, and I'm very specific with this because you can be very loose. Oh, try everything they offer. It's like, no. You can't try everything they offer you. Try foods with different cultures. Try their food because you never know. There might be something that you've never tried before that you're like, holy shit, how have I missed out on this my whole life? And it's with food, it's like traveling. You like to get to know new places, even though you're gonna go back home and still have a glass of milk before going to sleep.
Good to know, man. Good to know.
Tampa, Cuban deli, or bomb.
I have to make a trip. I've been meaning to go to Tampa. I got to go to Tampa. My wife's cousin is there, but also
Tampa's a really cool place, Bob. You never been to Tampa?
No.
It's really cool, chill.
Final question. Final one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll wrap this up.
Okay. Corey, you can go first. Ladies first.
What's the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
Holy shit.
I don't eat spicy food, so I don't.
What a child. Come on. Come on. You've eaten something spicy.
My mom's Irish. So I grew up with like salt and pepper as spices. Like I didn't start using spices until I married my ex-husband, who's from Texas and loved hot sauce and everything. And like I learned to season things. So I'm not the best person with like spices because like I mean my mom will be like, oh, let me put some spice on it, and it's just pepper.
Okay.
Me and my siblings talked about it recently. We're like, none of us make our meals the way that my mom makes them anymore because we've all broadened our horizons a little bit in cooking. So yeah, I don't do, and my kids don't do spicy foods. So I think I tried like my kids wanted to buy like those peppers, like those hot pepper, not the ghost pepper, but it's like a level below the ghost pepper. And that didn't work out well. So yeah, I can't do spicy.
You didn't know me when I was 14, so you don't know. You didn't know me, so don't act like you know. Alex will tell you that's not true. Tell her, Alex. Tell her that's not true. Go ahead, Alex. Let her know.
It's worse, Dad. It's worse.
Fuck you, Alex. Dick.
Man, it was just chocolate milk, Oreos,
chocolate milk
corn dogs,
ice cold chocolate milk. That's
that's all. I've said this. Okay, Courtney, have you ever tried cold chocolate milk with white Oreos?
I've never had white Oreos, but I've dipped like regular Oreos.
Dip white Oreos in chocolate milk.
Okay.
It's amazing. Because the chocolate on chocolate is too much chocolate.
I'll go and get it, and you can watch me try it.
Let's go. Let's do it. Next show. We're all going to have it. We're like, dip.
Maybe I'll be drunk, Bobby.
Yeah, I know, right? Alex, what's the spiciest thing you ever put in your mouth?
Bro, whoa. I mean, back in college. Actually, they dared me once. It was like the ghost pepper thing. It was a pepper. I forgot what pepper it was. And I swear to God, for an hour or 2 hours, I couldn't feel my face. And I love spicy food. But I literally bit into the pepper. And it wasn't even the fact that you can spit it out, but it stays in your tongue, in your mouth. It stays there for like 2 or 3 hours, man. And there was no way you can get it out. Like, I know people drink milk and all that. Nothing worked, bro. Nothing worked. And you, man, what is it? Ketchup?
So, what? Fuck off, bro.
I love you, man. I love you.
That's
sriracha sauce.
So, he said ketchup. Fuck off. Wow. Oh, it's late, dude. Anyway, so obviously I love chicken wings, right? So, and I've had spicy wings and everything, and that's not bad, especially if you have a Coke and you got fries, you're good. But especially if it has to have like a good flavor, I don't mind the spice. But I kind of got it was actually candy that got me. We were at my job. They had a spicy. It was like the hot chip challenge, but it was spicy jelly beans. And they were like, "How far can you go?" They had a whole, and they had a whole row of them. And I remember, and I'm going, and they're like, oh, you get these gift cards and everything. So I was like, oh, dude, I said, I could last enough to probably get into maybe like not, I probably won't win, but I could probably last. I mean, what's the, you think they're going to start like light and get worse and worse and worse and worse. So anyway, a whole group of people go. We're in this huge conference room, and they're filming it, and they're the owner of the company's there and whatever, and they're and they're telling you, okay, you got to, and it's not one bean. It is like a cup of beans, just like this, and they got donuts. They got donuts. They got a huge thing of milk, not like a gallon, but they have like a regular,
jugs, like those jugs,
something like that, skinny chub of whole milk there. And they say, you got to eat it, swallow it, chew it, swallow it. And then you got to keep going. You cannot eat the donut. You cannot drink the milk. You have to keep going. If you drink the milk or go after the donut, you've lost. Okay. So it's like, okay, straight up, let's do it. So I remember they were they go, and we got to open your mouth and show us that you're chewing it. I'm saying to myself, okay, as long as I'm not the first one to fucking quit, I'm already saying to myself. So we go, and it's like those little, we call like, the ketchup cups or the medicine cups. They put like 2 pills and you gotta, but it was like 4 or 5 of these jelly beans. So I do it, and and I'm going, oh, it's not bad. This ain't bad. But all of a sudden, I felt that on my tongue, and I'm going, oh shit. And I'm going, and I'm chewing it. I'm like, I want to swallow it already because I know if I swallow it, I can survive it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Teresa comes around. One of my coworkers, she's the judge, and she goes, let me see it. I open. She goes, all right, you're good. So I swallow it, and so I'm going like, okay. But it was like the after. And I mean, dude, this was scorching me. I'm looking up here. I see people going like this. I'm seeing people going like this. And I'm watching them, and I'm going, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I'm burning. Like, I'm like, this is effing ridiculous, dude. I'm like scolding. I'm like moving my leg. I look over, and all of a sudden I go, all right, get this second jelly beans. And so I see people start doing this, and I'm going, okay. And I'm grabbing, and I'm going, like, just do it. You can do it fast. It's like, it's think of it like a shot, I'm going, huh. And all of a sudden, like, my coworker tells me, she goes, it's not that bad. It's more gross than it is. And I said, oh, really? She goes, yeah. I go, all right. So I go, and I take it, and it was kind of gross, but it didn't really have a spice to it, and it was all these peppers and shit, Alex, so I take it, I'm still reacting to the first one, and I'm going, whew. And also, like, I see more people, I see my coworkers from my actual department come in, and I'm going, oh god, and I'm like embarrassed because I'm red, I can feel myself sweating, and I'm going, and also I'm like, I'm looking at other people, and I see, and I'm like, no one's gonna quit. Like, I see people sweating, and they're going, okay, and they go and they take the third one, and I'm going, I'm looking, I'm like, God, I was like, this is horrible. And so I remember looking around, and I'm like, I grabbed the third one, and I see them take it. I'm going, I see someone go, oh, this one is bad. And they're like chewing it. I'm going, I don't want to do this. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, I don't want to be the first one to quit. I ain't no bitch. I'm like, I'm saying, and as soon as I grab that, I'm looking at my coworkers again who work directly with me. I see them looking at me, and they're like, oh, and I'm going, also I go to get it. And also I go, I'm like, oh no. I put it back down. I'm like going, God. And also I touched the milk. I kind of like touch it like I was like playing with it with my finger. And this guy goes to me, who's on the company, he goes, you gonna drink the milk? You gonna drink the milk? I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I drank the console in it. It wasn't enough. I'm like, and so I grabbed the. It was actually the donut that saved me.
It absorbs everything.
The milk is good as you're drinking. It stops it, but when you stop, it comes back. But the donut is what stopped it. It was. I never want to touch another freaking jelly bean in my life.
I have a follow-up question. You said this is on video.
What about it?
Do we have a copy?
No.
He does.
I don't know where it's at.
Well, ask Tati. Tati, please forward.
Tati don't know. I will.
Just be us showing the video.
Huh?
If Tati wants to come on Dallas Diaries, it can just be us reacting to that video.
Whatever. I don't know where. I don't know. I know they recorded it. I don't know where it's at. They never revealed it on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. They do. Right? But I won't tell you where I work. I'll put it in there too.
You realize I can find you very easily. It's fine.
I will say I need to message Teresa. No, you won't. I will message the divorce lawyer. You message Teresa. Just throwing that out there. You'll lose all of this, man. That's what I'm telling you. Try me, Todd. You know where the treasure is. Don't play games. Anyway,
Yeah. Sorry, don't message Teresa. Message me Teresa's information, and then technically
shut the. Anyway, the owner of the company, I remember he was telling me, he goes, Bobby, go again. You know, you keep going. I'm telling you to go. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. I said, I will quit. I will literally quit right now. Walk out if you make me do it. I was done, dude. That was the hottest. I think everybody was waiting. Everybody was waiting for someone to do it. And I was waiting for someone else to quit. I think as soon as I quit, people started dropping off like fries. So I was like,
you saved your team.
I saved the team. But I was so pissed. And there was one person who was like, they were sweating like that little sweat, but they kept doing it. They just until they finally, I'm like, whatever, dude. I was like, whatever. I hate that person now. I don't talk to that person.
Called being a man.
It was a woman. That was fucked up. It was. That was
serious?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
she looked at you. She looked at you like, look, bitch.
Yeah. The next day she's like, good morning, Bobby. I was like, I just walked by. It's just like,
good morning, bitch.
You walk by, she's like, we know who the man is.
You bitch.
Whatever. I don't give a damn. I was saving my life. I was about to have a heart attack, boy.
I don't give a damn.
I don't give a shit. I was a bitch for a day, whatever. Anyway, all right. We're gonna wrap this up, man. Any final thoughts, Courtney?
There's so many, but none that I could articulate. Yeah.
It was pussy. God, it's too late, dude. We gotta get out of here.
Great. No, just catch me and Tati on Monday at 7:30 on Dolls Diaries on Velvet Thirsty's YouTube channel. She will be joining me as my special guest.
There you go.
We'll be live.
Tiana will be live on 7:30 Eastern Monday night for Dolls Diaries. It will be a great show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Go to Dolphins Thirsty YouTube channel. You know, get to meet Tatiana Finstock. Tati Finstock. You know, you can see as she talks about why she loves her husband so much. Alex, any final thoughts?
Nothing much, bro. Just exhausted for today. Thank you for waiting for me for the second. Oh, is this really the second half or the 2/3 of the show? Because
we did two shows in one. We did two shows in one, basically.
Yeah, and tune in tomorrow. I'll talk some heat, some of my points and perspectives of what's going on, and nothing much.
Alex will reveal that it's time to trade Tyler Hero. Until then, guys, like, subscribe, and if you're Dolphin fans, fins up.